All right, welcome to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Talk. I'm your host, Zio Agito, where we'll be discussing everything going on with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because
that is all they did. Everything that they were talking about before we started.
That is literally all that we were talking about before we went live. Which, yes, I am at 12 hours into the game. Mark, how many hours are you into the game?
I just looked officially 27.
Damn.
And I'm on chapter 4.
I'm on chapter 4 as well. And Ash, how many hours are you in?
Maybe like 8 or 10-ish, and I'm only on chapter 2.
Damn. And Cloudy.
I haven't started yet.
Get out.
Yeah. You're
Time for your intervention. Why haven't you started yet?
I have the game. I just haven't started playing it. I have other things.
Drop Persona 3 Reloaded. Ain't nobody care.
No, it's the only game I can play. I can't play it at work, so it's the only game I can play at work. I'm busy.
Why?
Because it's on a portable console.
Yeah, but you can remote play Final Fantasy Rebirth on your phone with a backbone or get the PlayStation Portal.
No,
man, ain't nobody want the PlayStation Portal.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
Cryzen, I bought one.
Cryzen. But I will get to it. Probably this weekend, honestly.
Friday.
So I'm taking a nice little break from my play session to do this live stream. I mean, everybody else is, because I'm sure once this is all over, we're all going back to the game, like almost instantly. Like, I know Mark's eyeing his remote play like intently. Just I might boot this up while we're out.
I know.
I'm
like, man. I was like, I didn't even.
Gio, according to Discord, there's this Persona 3 Reloaded game that you are playing right now.
I am not. I'm clearly not. So,
no. I mean, Reload is good, but like Rebirth.
Yeah.
I beat Yakuza Kiwami 2 recently and started free.
Oh, that's so
nice.
Good. The thing is, with free, it's a remaster of the PS3 game, so it's a weird step back going from the Kiwamis and Zero engines to.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think they're ever going to do 3 or anything like that because they did 1 and 2 because they were PS2 games. So sadly, I don't think we're going to get those ever.
Yeah, the closest you'll get is like maybe 6.
All right. So we're here to talk about superhero time and the things that happened. But first, just going around the room. Mark, you had a birthday this week. Happy late birthday!
Happy birthday!
Ooh, happy birthday!
I'm so old. Thank you.
How'd you celebrate?
Final Fantasy Rebirth came out. Like literally, like we went out and it's like, oh, what do you want to do? It's like, dude, I just want Panda Express and I want to go home and play Final Fantasy. I want to do nothing. This is my birthday. Let me see Tifa in 4K on my screen.
At least the resurgence of Final Fantasy VII means that some particular artists are going to be busy for the next few months. So,
have you seen the outfits in that game?
I mean, I've been avoiding a lot of the trailers leading up to it. Yeah. So I can just say that even like Chapter 1 was a shock. I'm not going to spoil shit, but Chapter 1, as soon as the game starts, I was just like, really? Oh boy! I was stupid excited. But nothing that was playable in the demo, just letting y'all know. But yes, it starts out the gate with like, boy.
Boing.
Anyway, real quick. Already starting off early. Musamu, thank you for $5. Does this mean Cloud has King-Ohger summon material? Or Dugdeads, maybe Blazars.
Nah,
no,
they got rid of all your material.
They would have used it during the final battle. So,
I will say though, I put this in your Discord, Zio, and I and people asked me, and I said, no, I'll try it on stream. I found pickle flavored jelly beans.
How are they?
Fuck.
I have not tried them.
Oh, no, let me know how you
do it.
Let me know.
Do it. Taste test.
It's kind of translucent green, and it kind of scares me.
It's
gonna be it's gonna be sugary at first, anyway, and then.
Is it dilly? Is it very dilly?
Ooh.
Very much like run to the bathroom.
Juice after the sugar. Well, that tells you everything you need to know, I think.
Atrocious.
That's atrocious.
That's atrocious.
Man, I hope that they weren't too expensive. Jesus.
It was like $1.99.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
That bad. They're fighting their way back up.
Dude, I love pickles so much, and this is just like
Great.
I need a second video. I don't know.
All right, Ash, we missed y'all last week. So how you doing now?
Good. I went to Elimination Chamber. It was a lot of fun. I got to see Logan Paul get the shit kicked out of him by Kevin Owens.
Nice.
That was like the best to watch. Like if you haven't seen that
hilarious.
clip, that was hilarious.
When he was drawing.
Yeah,
the older time, I was
I
gonna DM you, but like the time changed.
No, I don't think I saw him drawing on that. I don't think the cameras were focusing on that. They were mostly focusing on the fight when it came to the big screen. But yeah, I'm still laughing at Mark. It is but yeah, that was really great. Bit of a pain getting home, but boy, I had fun. Bought some shirts, and then the night before that, I saw the Undertaker's big speech. His sort of talk, retold stories and stuff like that. And
his one-man show?
Yeah, one-man show. He brought out Triple H, which we didn't see coming. But no, that was a lot of fun. It was fun. I don't know if Australia is going to get another pay-per-view like that again, but if they do, I'll definitely maybe go, depending on what the event is.
I'm sure they will. I know they're trying to hit the international market more.
Yeah.
That's why they're testing. It all started with that Clash at the Castle, and now there's because usually they'll do like Canada all the time, but they did Puerto Rico, Australia, so they're definitely going more places.
All right. And Cloudy, how are you doing?
Overworked. Work is entering the season where we have to restructure everything. So that means people's paychecks are getting renewed and all that kind of other shit. And I have to be a part of it. It means a lot of meetings. And I hate it. I have no time for anything.
Damn. Okay. All right. So, superhero time this week. Godchard was a recap episode. Well, half of it was a recap episode, but really not too much happened this week. But it's to be expected. This usually happens when one show is ending, the other one typically like bows out, has a low-key episode, not to try and outshine the other show. So we ended up getting half recap. We got the steel Godchard that we saw last week, that we were talking about last week. And of course, Platinum Godchard's already out in the wild, which we also talked about and showcased off last week. So not really nothing there. That's why the majority of this conversation is going to be going towards King-Ohger, because it did finally end. Episode 50 came out. It was indeed an episode. I thought it was okay. I mean, you had the Kings fighting against Doug Dead. You had Kamen getting his chest caved in by 3 folks. Like, Kamen deserved that. He definitely deserved all that. The best fight in that final episode was Kamen just getting wrecked. And he didn't even properly die, because you had Death Narak literally just drag his living body to the land of the dead.
Yeah.
That's even worse. It's like
he's still alive. He just didn't.
Yeah.
The screams that voice actor made when he was getting dragged off. Oh my god.
Worth every penny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciated, like, Jeremy getting in, but once Radcliffe got in there and you saw like how hard he was wailing at him, broke his fucking staff with how hard he was going in there, and then like Death Narak pulling the fangs of the Defiance out of nowhere, nowhere, literally just using it, split this man like fucking 9 ways, and even then was just like, Tarantula Abyss, nah, you stay your ass back. You haven't grown in 2 years. Get the fuck back. You can join me in future sequel films that will come out, maybe. But the main thing here is that we did get a a solution for the immortality crystal that was lost thanks to the efforts of Jeremy and Himeno anyway. And it was essentially just having everyone do a giant spirit bomb and just house it within a giant husk of a shoe god encasing. And there you go.
Dama.
That's it. Yep, we got a Genki Dama. And that ended up encompassing the King-Ohger, giving us the giant, massive size King-Ohger with the fight going on with Doug Dead, which I thought was just okay. Just nothing amazing for a final fight. I expected more. I honestly expected so much more. But we got what we got.
We might get more. You heard about the movie, right?
Yeah. But I'm like, unless y'all completely change the final fight and like use this time, because they didn't give us a date of when it's coming out.
Yeah,
no, they didn't.
Coming.
So I'm just like, if y'all take all this time and literally cook up a final battle that's worth being a final battle, then maybe we can.
It's a completely different fight. It's a whole new one.
Yeah.
It's completely possible.
Yeah. I feel like if the fight wasn't in that Doug Dead room where it was made as CGI and they did it like maybe, I don't know, like had like a space backdrop or something made and it was like your typical Sentai fight with people in suits, Sentai mech fight with people in suits, then maybe it would have been pretty cool. But because it was sort of like a mix between suit action and CGI, like you mentioned in the review, there was a lot of clipping going on and stuff like that. Maybe then it could have been better. But it was still a fun fight to watch.
I think the issue is that the King-Ohger suit itself, I don't think was made with the idea of, it wasn't made for a heavy green screen set because most of the physical suit fights that we got with the King-Ohger happened in the physical set, while anything else was done fully CG.
Yeah.
This time, since we got the suit physically there in the massive green screen set, you could see a lot of the clusterfuck going on in terms of trying to have that background work with the suit, and you saw a lot of weird distortions going on, especially like in the edges and all that. It was not a good scenery for having this fight.
Yeah, I don't think it's because I wasn't like I wasn't really like staring and looking for like some of the stuff wasn't noticeable, but like for me, I still liked the fight. I think the music towards the end was good when it was all like breaking apart. I think we weren't live, we're in VC, and I don't know who else was there. I think it was me and you and like one other person. We talked about how like early episodes, like it would have been cool if it was like that, like when we had the first King-Ohger fight when it was Suitmation with the fire and everything. It would have been nice if it was more grounded like that and not so CG heavy. But I still liked the fight. I thought it was good for, like I said, the show's called King-Ohger. We didn't have King-Ohger for a while.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of the reason why I was just like the amount of time that we've been King-Ohger-less. I was thinking that they were cooking up, this fight. That was the entire thing. They were busy having that rendering with their external studio, making sure that thing is like out the oven, looking popping fresh and just looking amazing. And then we got that, and I'm like, oh,
no.
Okay.
Toei said we're ready. We're about that boon, so we don't care about this.
So I mean, the reason why I didn't care for the fight is literally because we had so much better King-Ohger fights in the beginning of the show.
Right.
And it really felt like, for me, I think part of the reason why some people are saying that this fight for the final episode was great was recency bias. They probably forgot how good the fights were in the old episodes. And I'm just saying, maybe some of y'all should take a look back at what they did like in episode 2, 3, like a lot of those early episodes with the King-Ohger, hell, when they first used King-Ohger Extreme, all that shit were fantastic meg fights. And this is coming from someone that, like, for the longest time, I was burnt out on Sentai meg fights to the point that I appreciated Don Bros going like, look, we know you don't care about the meg fights, so we're literally making these fights last like 15, 30 seconds tops so we can get back to the good shit. But then King-Ohger was just like, hold on now. We'll show you that meg fights can be great again with Sentai. And the first half made me a believer once again that mech fights could be extraordinary when it came to Sentai. But then the second half happened, and it was like, where y'all at? What's going on? Like it barely is happening, and when we get it, it's nothing great. Because even when we got the King Kyoryujin, the second time we got him, they literally reused animations for him because it's a CG suit, so they just reuse the same thing over again for that fight. So the second half was really lacking when it came to any sort of mech fight instances. Even the King Caucasus Castle, the 2 times that we got it was the same fight, just played again, because it was Daigorg summoned again, and then it's the King Caucasus Castle doing the same punch again. So we didn't get a lot of that dynamic in there. And that's part of the reason why I felt that the final fight was just not as dynamic. And another thing just goes into the Shoe Gods themselves. Okay, we had the moment of the Shoe Gods like acting on their own and using every fiber of their essence to beat Doug dead, which was a great scene in some aspects, but in other aspects, I'm like, the Shoe Gods have like virtually no personality. This is not like other Sentai seasons where I know, Mark, you haven't seen too many of the more recent Sentais, but usually when they have sentient mecha, they're a character within the show, and there is like a little bit of a dynamic between them and their corresponding ranger. So like we get to see the buildup. Yeah,
or
so we get
soldier.
So we see the buildup between them. But within the context of King-Ohger, they didn't really have that. You never really saw the Rangers have full interactions with their Shoe Gods or anything like that, even if they couldn't understand them. Like the prospect of them actually building a bond, the connection with their Shoe Gods was never really there. Thus, the moment felt a little lost.
It was on the
legend. After the Legend Shoe Gods, they kind of stopped any of that stuff because that's when like they're like, oh, Sasarina is kind of sweet for this one over here, and Gira could like talk to him and understand. And then after that, it was kind of like, oh, there's no personality to these things.
Yeah, Gira's the only one, but even then, like they didn't take that enough with his character. They didn't make him be the liaison between all of the different Shoe Gods.
It was mostly just him and Kuwagon.
Yeah.
See, if they, and as opposed to doing like say the king symbols for those like 4 episodes in which just felt like filler, they really should have done an episode focused on the individual Shoe Gods and like something that's happening in terms of like a relationship, just to build up something, give me something with these Shoe Gods, with these characters. And we never got that. As much as I like Yanma, his interaction with his Shoe God didn't exist.
No, it's just a ship. It's a ship.
It's just a mech,
Yeah.
Same thing with the Boski. Yeah, he cared more about that anteater thing than his own Shoe God. And even Himeno, she cared more about like Sasarine or Scorpy than she did her own Shoe God. So,
and then again, it was just to study the structure of the venom, the poison. That's it. And there was no actual like. Because rather, I thought the whole thing was Himeno just wanted all the Shoe Gods for herself because she like sings at her good. Wanted to play behind her, and that just kind of disappeared. Yeah, and I was like, oh, I kind of thought it was kind of cool if like the entire time she just wants all the Shoe Gods.
Mm-hmm. And Rita for being such a recluse that only interacts with their Mofuns in it. Like if Rita had built a relationship with the because of course probably spends plenty of time with the Shoe Gods. I guess not. But I'm like, that's something that you could literally be whispering all your secrets to and will actually react to you versus, you know,
yeah.
Well, they had to make Rita somewhat entertaining.
Could have even had a scene of Mofun in the cockpit with Rita just there chilling.
Yeah. Also, can we address something? How is Jeremy still not burnt to a crisp after that?
Yeah, that's another thing that I mentioned in my review. Tarantula Knight was one of the first ones to burn off. But then we see Jeremy still in the cockpit like, what up, guys?
Because we know they're in the cockpit because the episode where Rita gets like the sword gets thrown away. That's Rita in that sword.
Yeah, they're still in the Shoe God.
Yeah.
Listen, the power of Jeremy's mom. His DNA is strong.
I mean, that was the previous episode. So
yeah.
So it's like there's a lot of different things here that could have made the finale work so much better, but they never did it. So seeing the King-Ohger, burn to a toasty crisp and all that stuff as they land that final blow on Doug, that, well, not really final blow, just a blow to break him out of the fourth dimension, but for some reason he manifests back on the planet when he should have just been out of the universe. I don't know how the physics of that shit work. I need like fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson to explain that shit to me. I gotta show him this clip from King-Ohger and be like, explain this to me.
He's gonna be like, I'm lost here.
It's like the pocket dimensions in Geats. Whenever there's like little pocket worlds, I'm like, that I want to explain, because whatever they're gonna come up with isn't gonna make sense regardless.
It just happened.
So it's those little tiny things, but then the final fight with Doug dead ends with finally going for the head, and I guess a lot of people that were speculating that the little tardigrade inside of his little headpiece being the real Doug dead were right on the money. That's exactly what it was. That was the real Doug dead. He was just, the actual body was just a little ship. So I guess all those little tardigrades that we saw inside of Minongon were just a bunch of Doug deads just waiting to get their new ship. And he just brought out a new ship for them to like get in there and pilot. So hey, it's there.
Yeah,
it's there. So that's part of the reason why I gave the episode a B, was because there were so many things that just didn't fit well with what was established within the show already. Like I mentioned, the shoe gods, the final fight. Just look, there were better fights in King-Ohger. There were mech fights. This was the final battle. This was the moment. And nope, none of that. And
I will say,
yeah,
it did work. I feel like as an overall conclusion, like the prologue and everything. I feel like that was kind of right. That was good, because it feels like that was like the natural progression of the like 5 nations becoming one, at least in a way or two.
Makes sense.
Yeah, or I guess 6 technically.
The name that they were coming up with was such hot garbage that I'm like, bro, just call it the name of the planet. Just call it cute. Just call it the fucking Earth Federation.
Yeah, Terra. I don't know, something.
Yeah, something.
Jeremy's Momtopia.
It was easy. Humanopolis.
Oh, hey, there's Bug Narok in there. They're better computers than humans.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they're still the generic foot soldier Bug Narok, so
yeah,
that's something. So yeah, the boundaries between all nations are now gone. Everybody can just freely go around each. Not like they couldn't do that already. I never saw Border Patrol in any of the previous episodes before. So,
I mean, there was that infamous moment in the body swap episode where they were just walking from Nkasopa back to what is it? I keep writing Gokon back and forth over and over again. So it's like,
well, we talked about that early on in the season where it's like so.
They can just walk the
looking at how the map is, but they're just
they're just walking.
Showing up.
Didn't they have to travel over the ocean to get to like?
Yes,
they did. When you look at the world map, they would have to travel across the ocean. So it's like
all the way up north. So
the geography of the planet.
It's like walking from one room to another just through a door. It's like, oh,
yeah.
Now I'm over here. All right.
I guess if Pluto doesn't qualify as a planet because it's a dwarf planet, their planet has to be smaller than Pluto, because ain't no way.
Or they're like using some kind of shoe god travel that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, so it's a little ridiculous on that front. I guess the big tease that they had at the end is that there's another threat coming, because we saw like a little bit of a shadow hit as Jeremy was doing his little narration piece, and then all the kings go ahead and transform while facing off into what this unknown threat is. What do y'all think that unknown threat is?
Some dinosaur.
The Don Brothers. The Don Brothers.
Yeah.
I think that's how the I think it's the Don Brothers. I think that's how the movies or the special's going to open up.
Probably.
I think it's about how like it would be Saber, like King-Ohger, because a King-Ohger versus Kamen Rider Saber movie would actually be really freaking good.
That'd be dope.
I would think it's Gurren Lagann showing up just to hit him with the cease and desist for copyright infringement.
What did they copyright? There were no planets being thrown about.
They were close. It's like if you want your Gurren Lagann, but you ordered it on Wish. That's what you got with this episode of King-Ohger.
Oh,
so they were like, look, we're better quality than that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
So am I the only one who actually liked the
giant
episode, then?
Minoru just coming in.
No, I like the episode.
I like it as well.
The episode was good. It was just not like the greatest. I still think that the previous episode 49.
Oh yeah, it was definitely
vastly.
Oh, 49 was a lot better.
It was definitely like an
But if you-
Infinity War Endgame thing where I thought Infinity War was a better movie than Endgame turned out to be. But Endgame had like
Endgame was no, like that's why I'm curious to see all 3 of the episodes like in one like movie
Super cut.
Yeah.
Because like I did that and I never released it. I did it with the first 5 episodes of King-Ohger because it worked really well like that. So I kind of like how the last 3 episodes worked the same way as the first 5 episodes.
And we're getting new footage too, so
I know. That's why I'm like, okay, what are they gonna add in? I was like, hopefully it's
because they
more
didn't
to know
add a
about.
lot when it came to the Don Brothers extended cut, but this is like a 60 like more than 60-minute movie.
Well, the thing is, the Don Bros extended cut was literally shit that they had filmed during the time that they ended up cutting it because there were several episodes of Don Bros that had footage cut out for either length or because of censorship reasons that they thought that the kiddies might not like what they were about to see, that type of thing. Because
Take you in a way.
The Tsuyoshi scene of him having the mental breakdown before the infamous him calling the cops on Tsubasa episode. That was something that was cut. But for King-Ohger, I think it's going to be a different thing where they didn't get the green light until afterwards, and they're like, "Oh, maybe we can."
Yeah,
Musa Moteki. We'll get to that. We'll get to that later.
So I do think that, like, in the course of them making this film or this cut, they'll probably have the option to shoot some more scenes to bring the while the actors are still technically on payroll right now, shooting all the other stuff, and doing some last second promos and things like that, probably for the Chinese release of
like that,
Oh, we got the joke. Don't worry, we got the joke.
Although we did, my favorite thing was they gave the actual suit actor in the King-Ohger suit flowers, and I was like, I like that so much. Cool. That was my favorite photo when they're showing all the flower stuff, and I was like, man, they gave that's.
Yeah,
I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one.
They're probably done. They're probably like, after breaking your back, I don't think you can ever suit act again. So thanks for all the work you've put in.
That was that God King-Ohger freaking thing. Like I was like, that looks so.
They better have given him flowers.
We got scoliosis now.
Real quick. Who's number taken for $2? Message from the Kings. I am Iron Gotchard. I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, I still can't believe that was ad libs, right?
Yes, I am Iron Man. Maybe, yeah. I mean, at this point, like RDJ already knew his character more than the writers did because he had acted that character for so many years. Just like that's not something that he would say. What would he say? I am Iron Man, because I remember the line was something different. So.
And it's a good callback to the end of the first Iron Man film too. That's why
where it all started. You just like,
yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you want to talk about the handoff?
I mean the handoff. I mean we got
sort of. It was just like
the car and a trip to like every kingdom via car, meaning that he drove through
over the ocean. Yeah, hey, you don't know what that car can do yet.
I mean, it's like when people ask me how you get to Puerto Rico, and then I tell them about the massive bridge that exists between Florida and all the islands to get to Puerto Rico. So I think the massive bridge, it's there. It's there. Like it's right there. You just have to believe and just set your car on cruise control and just drive. Doesn't matter if you hit the water, just keep going. That bridge will pop up eventually. So.
Sure.
If you believe hard enough, the bridge will appear.
Yep.
You'll get to Puerto Rico eventually.
It is a supercar. I mean, look, that car runs on like the King-Ohger's like 5 people power that just are managing to go from, one country to another like that. So in that span, that car runs slower than the people of King-Ohger. So, hey. So, yeah, King-Ohger is one of those shows that I enjoyed, but I will say it did suffer from the issues that we've been seeing a lot more recently, which is first half of it, good,
Solid.
possibly top tier, like amazing. But then there are faults and issues once you start getting into that second half. I mean, the second half started really, really strongly, very strongly.
I think after when they came back from the Kyoryuger crossover is when things started to fumble a little bit.
I think even before then, but you felt it more.
There were like a handful of episodes leading up to things, especially like the stakes just felt non-existent. Even though there were stakes in one episode, the next episode it would be virtually undone. Remember Jeremy becoming the villain and just taking the blame for everything? And it was like, man, this is an amazing episode. Like, I feel like the emotional impact. Then the preview, literally the preview for the next episod. What's up, guys?
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Yep. I'm just in here chilling. It's like killed those stakes. Killed those stakes. It happened so many times. Yama lost Enkasopa. That was an amazing episode. We saw the ruins of Enkasopa only for like 2 episodes later being like, wait, how's
it back again?
Yeah, listen, the backup program kicked in. Everyone, it's
like how is Hillbill just chilling in the that throne room shouldn't exist.
Yeah, it's all CG generated or whatever the heck.
Yes. Remember when Doug that died came back and said, "I'm gonna take this seriously, guys. I'm gonna take this, guys. I died. Y'all messed up. I'm gonna take this so seriously. Now, excuse me while I go get some milk."
For 3 episodes, he just did nothing. I mean, it's better than Evil, I guess, because Evil that was like a couple, that was like a lot more than just 2 episodes.
So it's like second half really, like they tried upping the stakes, but then it's like the next episode they forgot what the stakes even were.
I feel like the problem is they didn't have like a better cohesive like structure, because the thing is like we had parts that were like really good and then they followed them up with something either goofy or like something a little nonsensical to like it's like, okay, this kind of like takes me out of it, you know what I mean? Like it's not following the scope. I would have liked it to like just continue with the momentum, you know? And it's not like saying they can't have the goofy moments within there, but like you can do that, like subtly while things are ramping up, you know?
Right.
Yeah, because even if you look at the first half, they had their sense of goofiness within those same episodes, but they didn't do it like one thing that we saw prevalent within the second half was an A plot and a B plot, and normally one of those plots were a goofy one and the other one being a serious one, which kind of lent itself toward very like tonal whiplash. While in part 1, the writing style was like a cohesive story, but there would be like comedic bits thrown in there. It wasn't separated between an A plot and a B plot. Like even going back to episode 3, when fucking Himeno is out here blowing up houses and shit, and that shit was hilarious. But then it's just like, no, that was worked into the fabric of that entire narrative being told on there. So there's a lot of those different aspects that are just written better. And the thing is, it's like, it's not like we could say that, oh, they changed head writers. No, it was the same guy the entire way through.
You remember it's not just him. There's like the other people have to get their hands on it. There's the
other writers involved. Yeah,
script it. What is, there's a lot of people that can change a few things, especially if like merch had to be. But my thing is, producers definitely probably didn't get involved because there was no toys that they had field force that they had to like. So
yeah, the second half was definitely seems like free real estate in terms of what he could do, because of the fact that they weren't peddling toys. They didn't need to. So they literally could have wrote anything.
Possibly. I don't know what like restraints that they had to work with, considering the fact that I don't even know if they knew how long the show had to be by then. You know what I mean? So they still had to work within that. Although I think, oddly enough, if the show had ended in the halfway mark where, season 1, quote unquote, ended, that would have been perfect. I would have been happy with
that. Would have made it like literally the perfect show up to that point.
I would have been very content. I would have been like, yep, this is good. Okay, we're good here.
Because once you start going into cosmic powers and things like that, and then all of the Doug Deads of it all, it really starts to break apart and retroactively change a lot of the things in there. I know I did get a very extensive comment on, I think it was like my episode 49 review, right before 50 came out, trying to explain away like some of the things that I thought were like plot issues or things that like ruined some of the tones in there. And one of the things that like glared at me was like the Fury of the Gods, because of course I think the majority of us have been
It was
kind
the
of
B plot in a 2-part episode.
yeah, it's like something that was completely alluded to, a major part of the backstory going into this show, an integral part of part 1 in terms of something that affected everyone's lives, and we were just trying to see how it affected all their lives, like what led them to what they were. Ended up not playing a single role in Gira's backstory, even though it should have, but it did not, because all of his stuff happened before the Fury of the Gods, technically. But the payoff to it and all that, and I said, the Fury of the Gods, when it got summoned and we had the whole evacuation plan, once again, I'm like, the cicadas ain't doing shit. They literally aren't doing shit. They aren't attacking folks or anything. They're just hovering and floating around like they're just a menace. And someone said, well, they're just trying to blacken out the skies to cause pretty much like a global winter by blocking out the sun. It's like, then how did all those people die in the Fury of the Gods 17 years ago? Was it all literally just grody? Like, I don't think that was the actual intent for why they were there. That's what been more there. So, yeah, I mean, that whole episode I still found very, very dumb, because if they were literally at the origin point of all of the Cicada Shoe Gods, they could have just summoned the King-Ohger and nuked them out of existence like they did at the end anyway. So,
yeah,
that episode still deserves an F. So, it was a bad episode. Bad episode. And
thing is, in part 2, there was a handful of like really solid moments though. Like the Voski's Focus episode was incredibly solid.
And that was great.
And they somehow managed to make Raculus's redemption feel very good and kind of fluid with the
story. Right after.
Yes, I get it, until after. But the thing is, like, how did like they go from like, all right, I'm on board with this, to okay, what happened? It feels like that's what's happened.
You're probably wondering how I got here.
Exactly. Like every episode of part 2 seems like we get something really good set up, or something really cool happens, right? And we get like, oh, they should definitely change the way this character's perspective and narrative is going to be portrayed, right? Next episode. What? No, who cares? We got other shit to do.
Yep.
And it's like, it's kind of insulting because there's a lot of really good shit in those episodes. But then you got all the stuff that really doesn't help it.
Yeah, Raculus should have died. After the redemption, he should have died.
Yeah, probably. Because he really doesn't do much after that.
He opens up the can of worms of like, well, there's more powers that the kings have. It's like, really? Why didn't you try stealing them before? It would have been easier. We weren't aware that literally the jewels we're wearing had powers, but you were. You could have technically taken them if this was actually something that was meant to be part of the original narrative. No, I really think that it was just padding out a lot of the story going into things. That's why, if the plan really was what we had in episode 9, with them bringing back all the dead folks, if Raculus had died after the redemption, they could have just brought him right back up in episode 49. And it would have been like nothing of value would have been lost, and it probably would have made the show fundamentally better in terms of that front.
Yeah, there could have been a whole new way to tell these story events, and we wouldn't have gotten that weird, like, Jeremy, I know about that rock in your chest.
Yep. We still don't know what is Shugadam's jewel power. Shugadam's power was the crown. It was the founder's crown.
It's like the founding power. It's Gira's power up. That's the ability.
Yep. Let's see. Blame Suzume for this. For what? Just won that Raculus D? I mean,
she didn't really do anything, honestly.
She was loyal.
She didn't do anything offensive, is what I'm saying. Like, she didn't do anything though.
There was nothing of it. I wanted her to be more of a character than she actually ended up being.
I thought she'd do a lot after like Regulus died, but then she just died.
Well, that's because she knew he didn't die, which is
she just stayed at the castle, which made no sense, except the fact that I guess she was just waiting for him to wake up was the only reason. Yeah, what does the crown do? It gave Gira the only power form that everybody else got.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. It gave Gira his new base form.
For the longest time, yes.
Because that was basically his new base form forever.
That's why a lot of these kingly powers really feel like a last-second add-on. Because, once again, the final fight, if you wanted to win me back when it came to these powers, I should have been seeing, like, Yama using lightning powers on Doug Dead. Like, Rita should have been throwing, like, ice bombs and shit. The Boski been in there with the flames and stuff.
The problem with that is I guess the thing is that they only use that to set up the fact that, hey, if we use all these, we can make a super galactic King-Ohger and whatnot. But they never, like, went through to explain, like, why they wouldn't be able to use them properly, like, in just a normal setting.
So as the King-Ohger was burning to a crisp, I was like, Rita, where are these ice powers at? Stop it from burning.
No, they're on hold.
It's just like, wasn't that the whole reason why we have your powers to begin with? Is to keep the King-Ohger cool from overheating? You failed. You have failed the
She
King.
had one job to do.
Also,
one job to do.
There were none of them were shown using their powers for anything. None of them at all.
No,
I didn't see Death there. I didn't see. I guess Kira's Crown Lance is the pilot thing, but I didn't see the what do you call it? The lightning powering the shit. I didn't see the cooling and heating system or whatever there was for those guys. So. Also, how does death work in there again? I forget. How does the death thing fit into that?
Well, it definitely worked at the end because they all died. So I guess that's the one power up that worked. The Boski's flame was too hot. Rita failed to keep the King-Ohger cool, and then Himeno's powers definitely succeeded in killing the shoe gods, at least their body.
Yeah.
So
I will say this: it's somehow there to go back to this. There's good parts in part 2. Like they even somehow managed to pay off Yanma's whole. I made like a super god computer, and that's why I was put in prison for 2 years. Like that was kind of paid off in the part 2, and then immediately forgotten again. But that's fine.
Someone equated me thinking that Raculus dying and coming back would be like Philip coming back in Double. First of all,
that's two different things. And spoiler.
The difference would be Raculus dies, he comes back in episode 49 for the fight, and then goes back to being dead, as opposed to Philip that just fucking came back. And I'm still like, I forgot that I blocked that from my memory until like Fudo PI confused the fuck out of me. Because when Fudo PI started, I was like, wait, didn't Philip die? How is he back? Then I was just like, oh, I blocked out the last episode. I literally blocked out the last episode from memory.
So the last episode is also very good until the part where he comes back.
Yeah.
Guess I don't need to watch Double now that it's been spoiled to me.
Yes, I know. That was the other thing I was going to say. You just spoiled the thing.
It's okay. It's overhyped anyways.
It is.
Just watch Blade and just watch Blade instead.
It's a good season, but I do think yes, it is overhyped.
Yeah. Although nowadays people tend to do that with Build, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Build.
Yes, I do remember when they gave Grody the immortal jewel and still managed to kill him.
Well, you see, they can kill immortals.
Yeah. And I guess the jewel just shattered with it. It didn't knock the jewel right out of him because, of course, that would have been a little bit too convenient. Because then they could just summon the god King-Ohger that's super massively big, whatever the fuck. They still didn't explain how it got big anyway, so.
Well, like what happens? Never mind.
It got really excited with the thought of Jeremy's mom. So it just kept growing and growing and growing.
They're like, she's back, and it's just like, da-na-na-na-na.
So Boom Boomger can't start soon enough, is what I'm hearing.
So they hit us with the hefty, and that's exactly what.
So what Boom Boomger is this Sunday, right? You know, it's
now we're still talking about these kings.
Stop it, Cloudy.
So we're getting Boom Boomger this Sunday, right?
Yeah, there's no Jeremy's mom and Boom Boomger. Ain't no.
I was like, I'm coming Boone when she's around.
Oof.
No, hit up Giga to make that parody.
No,
Like they don't have to make the suit exactly right, but just enough to the point that I get the reference. That type of thing.
Well, with all
There's
the
some points
hashtags
that they could
we
like
made,
not have included for material.
Yes, that like the white portions just completely
that could be
excluded.
I mean, they were covered in blood anyway.
And I'm like, and I'm just watching like, oh, I'm gonna boon.
No silk, chat. No silk.
Good old spider milk. Get you fed. Gives you the vitamins and minerals, all the nutrients.
I mean, to be fair, with the hashtags we've been making for Boom Boomger, it might as well have a Giga final episode.
It probably will.
All happens in the land of the dead.
Cars.
And the boom wings.
The boom cars. Boom wings.
Let's not continue that, please.
The big boon cars.
So overall, like, I guess, what's your final thoughts? Like, for anyone.
I mean, in general, I still feel that part 1 was amazing. Part 2 had moments, but I still think when it comes to like recommending the show, I would probably tell people it's like part 1 is essential viewing. Like just about every episode, minus like the recap episode, is essential viewing from start to finish. Like you gotta watch it. It's good shit. Part 2, it's like, okay, now you can definitely end up skipping some episodes to advance the plot. Yeah. Like this is not essential. This is not essential. You might want to watch this one at like 2 times speed, and then like. Yeah. Essentially, once Doug Dead gets revived, skip all the episodes until they start getting up to the final battle.
I'm not gonna lie, Musa Mataki, it's not in my top 7 anymore. It's kind of barely cracking into like the top 15. I'm not gonna lie. I do love the show, but it's not. I don't think it's in my top 10.
If it was just part 1, it definitely would be top 5. Easily top 5.
Oh, yeah.
If it was just
part 1. It would be top 3. No, hands down.
But then part 2 happened.
The thing is, I like the show, and I might be a little too critical. If I rewatch it, which I probably will, it might go up a bit. But at the moment, I don't see it beating the other shows I have in like my top 10. Like this is not beating Geki Ranger, Time Ranger, or Kyoryuger.
So I'm gonna have chat give first part 1 of King-Ohger a letter grade. And I'm just going to say, S, A, B, C, since I can't put in more. Or actually, I could say C or lower.
So I'm going to be in the minority here. I like King-Ohger more than Don Brothers. That's just me, personally.
I can see that. Because it's
shows, I think Don Brothers still my top.
There's a lot of people that don't like Don Bros in general.
Yeah, I know.
Because it was brain rot for them. So
yeah, like for me, like I said, when I watched Don Brothers, I haven't had enough Super Sentai seasons under my belt to really get any of the tropes, and I still don't feel like I do. But like, I enjoyed it just because like this is outlandish. This is great, very, entertaining. But then King-Ohger had that formula, especially the first half. So even with like the stuff that you could just kind of skip in part 2, I still think overall really fucking good show.
Oh no, definitely. Just I don't think it's a very good show, but as a whole, it's definitely like an A-tier show. It's
Now out of the things
I also like Loopad, so
well, I also like Loopad, but the thing is, it's like I'm one of those guys that enjoys a story-driven narrative much more than had King-Ohger stayed the way that it was in part 1 all the way through, easily would have beat Don Bros, because it's the kind of shit that I like. I do like a story focus, something when the story nails all the boxes it's trying to tick and all the seeds that it's planting gets paid off in spades, versus trying to plant something and then you either don't pay it off, like what we got in Geats, you forget about it, or you circle around it, or you retcon it completely later on, which is, kind of the shit that we ended up getting with part 2. And for someone that looks so deep into like lore heavy shit and backstory and the foundational portions of a lot of things, King-Ohger had me invested for the first part, but then the second part, it started throwing all that shit out the window. So I was like, look, I'm looking at this show from the way that it established itself. It established itself very serialized, very story focused. Some people were arguing in my comments that King-Ohger is a character focused show, and I'm like, the fuck it is. Versus like what it was setting up, it definitely is more story centric than character focused.
I mean, there was definitely good character development. I mean, you gotta love these
yes,
but it wasn't like they're just personalities were like driving the plot. There was like an overall story.
No,
Yeah.
Like Don Bros, that's a character driven show.
That is definitely a 100% character driven.
Well, almost everyone in King-Ohger had character focus.
Yeah, they were all amazing for the most part. Characters.
Whether it was good or not was, but they at least had a focus of it.
Yeah.
Now if the show but pretty much implying that the show itself
was not written around.
Was focused just strictly on the characters themselves versus the narrative that it was trying to establish. And I'm like, no, I would argue that it's way more narrative driven than it is character driven. So the narrative forces out all the character shit.
Which is funny because like a lot of these shows tend to be a little more character driven.
And looking at the poll, it looks like 67% were definitely like 0 votes for B, C, or lower. Well, everything was A and S for part 1 of King-Ohger. So it makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, King-Ohger definitely as a whole is just it is a good show. I just don't think because I don't know, it's because of the flaws with it. It just isn't like the amazing show that I think it could have been. But at the same time, it's like even the parts in part 2 that I didn't like, there were also parts that I really liked.
Yeah.
But then there were parts that I was disgusted at. Which like part 2 is like a love and hate kind of thing because it's like, ooh, this is amazing, and then oh god, why'd you do that?
I mean, there were definitely moments in which I was like trying to plan out my thoughts, and I'm like, I'm gonna be eviscerated in the comments. Some of these thoughts that I'm gonna have, and I'm like, I gotta do it. I gotta take, because I'm just like, at the end of the day, this is my opinion, and I'm like, I've invested so much into this show in terms of like, the hours put into it, the rewatches, and like doing the live streams with it, all that good stuff. I'm looking at this episode from multiple different angles, and I view them so many times that if there's something that I missed during the first time, I might catch it during that second time. And I normally catch a lot during the first viewing in general. Like people get that when I do a live stream and it's the first time that I'm watching an episode, I'll start pointing out stuff that people hadn't seen before. It's just the way that I just look at a show. Even if I'm like into my 4th drink or anything like that, I'm still going to be focused on what's going on screen in terms of that. But
when did you think like part 2 like broke you? Because for me, it was definitely the Fury of the Gods part, and then later when they rewrote the backstory of the Bugnarok again. The Rita Fury of the Gods episode,
it was grody in general, because grody, the way that he was introduced, I'm just like, he doesn't fit thematically with how the Fury of the Gods was previously established and things like that. Especially when you consider back when Jeremy was first revealed and Himeno went ham on Jeremy, thinking that he was the one that caused the Fury of the Gods.
When Himeno knew what he looked like, because she recognized him instantly. Also, I will say this: his introduction the introduction itself was pretty good. You got Kamajin, who had killed that guy who was hunting down his wife, and then he later just killed his wife, the former king of Gokon. That was pretty sick. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. And
then it went all downhill. Which is what I mean. It's like there's good shit in here, but then there's also the bad shit that's like, What are the
and then they threw in like later on that Raculus was literally just being stepped on by Doug Dead the entire time that all this was going on as well. So yeah, Fear of the Gods definitely lost its luster the more that it was expanded on. They literally could have done a whole mini arc that could have taken place during the past that lasted like 2 episodes just to give us like that backstory type.
Yeah.
Especially with how anime they tried going with King-Ohger, because King-Ohger is it's one of the most anime sentais to ever anime in terms of the way that it was written, produced, and shit like that. It's a whole different beast from like a lot of other shows that came before it in terms of that front. So for those that are very into anime tropes and writing styles and things like that, King-Ohger is your show when it comes to that. The difference between writing for an anime versus writing for a toku is normally shot, filmed, produced, and aired within a good month of it all happening, versus anime, where they got to make sure that the story's all done correctly. And well, nowadays it normally gets written and starts getting animated 2 years before air date.
Yep.
So there's enough time to like catch things up, change them up, and things like that, which might not work for a toku.
Actually, I changed my mind. I think this is probably my number 9 show. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put this in my number 9 spot.
Ooh, what made it change during the monologue?
Because of because like when I was saying like all the good and bad moments, I rewent, like in my head, I replayed every awesome thing from part 2.
And the good outweighed the bad.
And I was just like, there's just so much good here. Like I can't not, like, yeah. Because even then, the overall ending was still good. Mm-hmm. I just, Ooh, this is an interesting one.
I just realized I said it was in my top 10, but I haven't seen 10 seasons of Super Sentai.
Yeah, I don't think
I've seen. By default, it's in your top 10.
I'm at 9. I'm at 9 seasons.
So is it in your top 3? Is what
let me count how many sent out.
Top 5 out of 9.
Because it's definitely not beating my Die Ranger. Oh God, no!
Yeah, Die Ranger is my number 2.
No, Die Ranger's like, I think Die Ranger's in top 3 because that's
Die Ranger is like right up there for me. It's like
that's not even about the show. That's just the suits alone. Doesn't mean like looking at the suits. I'm like,
oh
yeah.
So for part 2, average was A at 48%, but B. So we actually got some B rankings for this one, 36%. There were actually a few that said C or lower at 9%, with only one person giving it an S rating.
Who was it? I won't judge.
Because only 6% of the vote out of 33 votes was an S rating for part 2.
Who did it? I won't judge you. Don't.
Yeah. Come forth.
Geki Ranger is easily top 5. It's pretty good. I think the nostalgia goggles for Die Ranger is what's keeping it at 2.
No, it is good.
No, yeah, but if you haven't seen Die Ranger, like me and Mark, like most of us still watched Die Ranger when it first came out.
I just finished it.
Right, yeah. I watched it like 3 times, like during.
I gotta rewatch it. I've not seen it in like 15 years. Like when those subs came out, I was like, I gotta watch it.
Were you there when we watched it in Danny's server, Geekdom server? Did you show up in there?
Nope.
Okay.
Because when was it that he had gone back to Zero Ranger? I think he was working backwards or something like that.
Oh yeah, we were.
When it came to the show, so I mentioned Die Ranger when I popped in on one of those streams, and he mentioned that y'all had already watched it.
Oh yeah, we did go from Die Ranger to Zero Ranger, and then.
So yeah, I gotta rewatch that definitely because it's been like 15 years since I'd seen it.
Well, it's all on Shout Factory if you want to watch it.
I have it all downloaded on my.
I mean, yes, I will definitely support Shout Factory. And
yes, I will.
Yeah, I have Pluto TV downloaded.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Absolutely, we'll get the physical media.
Start supporting that physical media. Oh, actually, that is one thing I did get to do today. I went to some of my friends invited me out because I was very stressed at work. I went to like an old retro shop to look for games and shit.
Cool. Any cool games?
Yes, I got all the Fatal Frame series.
Oh, nice.
Yes, cheap? It cost me $500.
Okay, not cheap.
Well, no, because they're like
very expensive.
Condition.
Incredibly expensive.
No, they're expensive.
Also, I found out how much my copy of Chibi Robo is worth. $300.
Wait, I don't want to say we are cloudy, but I feel after stream, I feel like I know which store you went to.
Maybe there's a couple of them, but there's a small little retro.
Yeah, little small one on the side, little stairs to get up in. Yep, I've been there.
Yeah.
I bought one of those waifu tank games for the PSP that was like in the collector's edition factory sealed. Their pricing's not bad for the retro.
Oh no,
games,
it's really good. They actually keep up with everything. Like even before you check out, they make sure they check the prices in case anything.
Yeah, they make sure. When I went there, they had a factory sealed. I don't know if they still had a Suikoden 1 and 2, both factory sealed, and I was like,
ooh. I haven't seen those there. I think
I almost.
I also we also bought what is it Resident Evil 3 again because I hated the remake and I really wanted to play the original. So
Did you get the GameCube or the PS1 version?
PS1 version because we also bought a PS1 there.
Oh, nice.
I spent a lot of money in that place today.
I guess so. Yet you can't play Rebirth. You're going to keep buying all these retro games and this and that, but you won't play Rebirth.
I'm growing a physical media collection, Mark. What do you want me to do?
I get it. I'm already there. Like I do the same, but like
even though I'm playing the Yakuza games on Game Pass, I definitely want to get them on PS4.
I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and ask chat where King-Ohger ranks on their Sentai tier list. If it's number 1, if it's in their top 5, their top 10, or is it lower than their top 10? Just to see for those folks that have seen several Sentai.
Now, for those of you in chat, if it's number 5, you put in your top 5, just because technically if it's 5, it's still in your top 10. But like if it's top 10, that means from 6 to 10. I just have to throw the math out there just in case people don't know numbers. Never know.
I think they do.
You're saying we can't count?
Look what I got today. Mr. Super Clear for my Sotos. So the stickers stop peeling.
Oh, nice.
And Wizard.
Ooh.
So, fun fact, the place I went to, they follow me on social media because they're local to San Diego. And when I was in there, the guy was like, oh, yeah, later on today, we're getting some Kamen Rider model kit in. I don't know. It looks like the inside of an orange. And I was like, Gaim, and this lady in the back's like, don't worry about it. He's not even going to buy that. He tweets all the time. He thinks Gaim is mid. And I was like, this old Asian lady in her 60s who runs a shop because they follow me on all the social media and this and that. I hype them up and gas up their store. And I was like, she's not wrong. But for
you should be like,
I will get it.
Yeah, let me buy 2 just so I can burn one on stream.
Oh, God.
Well, they had all the new freaking. They had the whole lineup of everything from the Witch from Mercury now, with all the high grades on there. They had the new SD ones for like Ariel and stuff like that. I didn't even know those were out yet, and I was like, "Damn, y'all got too much stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, but we got we got a new like master grade Mazinger one over there." I'm like, "No, like just stop. I just need this. That's it." Like. In China. And he's like, well, we got some unicorn stuff too. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Show me those perfect grades.
You sound like me in that retro game shop.
Yeah. But that's all I bought. I was pretty good. I was like, no, because I got my Disney Imagination belt finally and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, stop.
Oh, I told them to put a few things on hold because I only had cash when I went. So I have to go back and pick up a few things.
Now that the show is over, in terms of King-Ohger, what is something you wish, realistically, something that you wish could have happened in the show that we didn't get? Like, what do you wish could have been introduced that was not a thing? And mine would be just a second fucking mech combination. That's something that was royally missing. Like, yes, we got the Kyoryujin like twice. Shit like that. If they had introduced like a second set of shoe gods or something like that there was like a legend that predated the King-Ohgers and they had to find another set of 5 shoe gods or 6 shoe gods and whatnot and have a combination going on there, then hey, that would have alleviated a lot of their toy issues if we had something like that. Or even if we had a combination within the auxiliary mechs. Like if the auxiliary mechs could combine into like a smaller robo or something like that. Because I remember back in the day, like in the 90s, when we would have like so many of the smaller support mechas that would just be there. But we just lacked a lot of that when it came to the show.
I thought like the Tarantula Knight would have been a good one to have other ones combined. Like the way I could like compare it to is like with Mighty Morphin when like you could actually like take out the T-Rex and then here's the Dragon Zord that would connect with the Saber-Tooth Tiger. I was like, oh, why can't we put the Legend Shoe Gods on Tarantula Knight? Do something cool with that. At least that's like a secondary type thing. But it's like, because it'd be cool, Tarantula Night with the Legend Shoe Gods with King-Ohger next to it and like this and that. And I get it, the castle is technically its own, but that was like you couldn't attach anything to it.
No. We're standalone. And even then, if Doug Dead himself, since he was the master of all insectoid like life forms, with all the replica shoe gods that he had, he could have been like, these are shoe gods that I never introduced to your worlds, and he could have made like his own evil mech just to fight them, literally as his own like pawn, that type of thing. But no, it's like for a show that was so centrally focused on the mecha, there was a lack of mecha.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, because
it really could have just had some more mechas in there. Hell, had they had the like Tarantula Abyss like grow up over the year lifespan and then introduce a new line of shoe gods that would combine with that one and that type of shit. Like imagine Deathrat coming back and then just being like, all right, Tarantula Abyss, it's time. Summons him along with some shoe gods we've never seen before, did his own god tie out of nowhere. And it's just like, this is a 1 episode thing, but hey, you gonna buy this toy. And I'm like, you're right. I will buy this toy. Missed opportunity.
It's true. I'm trying to think what.
Can I say something? Sorry.
Yes, I'm thinking.
I was thinking getting what do you call it? Yama and Himeno together, because I feel like that should have happened.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean that's one of the things. All of the crush moments that we had in the early episodes and the later episodes, when even though it was Kamen Jim playing the consort role, that type of thing, if they played more into that, and plus when we saw the time skip like poster, that was what the speculation was, because we were like, why is Yama suddenly rocking with blonde hair and rocking some of these Himeno color schemes? What's going on here? Did they shack up after like 2 years time skip? No, none of that.
Listen, they were in prison for 2 years together. What do you mean Himeno's for the streets? What?
I said that a while ago. What are you talking about? She's just for the streets. Homegirl didn't even care her parents were back alive, okay?
She did.
She did care. It was like that nonchalant.
She did the nod and the smirk, but I'm saying if I was her, I'd be like, "Oh my god, my parents," and then I'd be like, "So what exactly?" Like, I'd be like, "Oh, that's cool." Instead, she's just laying back, like,
"Yeah, what's the afterlife like?"
So she's like, "Oh, I'm doing doctor role stuff and my finances, but y'all cool. Go fix some people."
I mean, I guess the daddy issues could be part of the reason why she would have an OnlyFans page. TokuTonic.
Yeah, no, she definitely would. It'd be.
I mean,
her dad wasn't there growing up, so
yeah, she's on Feet Finder. You know she is.
The thing is, there wouldn't be just
always on open tail stuff.
Wouldn't they have like a Rita Himeno section as well? Because I know a lot of people started shipping Rita and Himeno, especially towards like the
everyone was shipping like around after the time jump when they were all friendly. When you realize like
after the tea party, right? Or during the tea party?
No, I think it was before that.
Even before that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a little more out.
Oh, right. There was the jewelry thing too, like when the
jewelry.
When Himeno remade the necklace for Rita, I think.
Rita, and then there's when Himeno gave Rita the Mofin plush.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plus, at the end of the series, you see Himeno reading the Mofun book and all that.
But then again, Mofun originated from Ishibana, so
yeah, Ishibana, yeah.
But I'm just kind of curious, like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Nah, I'm trying to think of what, because like Zio's mecha secondary robot was like really good. Now I'm like, damn, I don't really know what I wish was in the show more.
Yeah. More mechs would have been nice, more stuff to buy.
Do you think we'll get a canon? Do you think we'll get a canon ship in the special or movie, whatever that? Ooh, like a canon
quick,
pairing.
Looking at everybody's overall King-Ohger Sentai tier list, where it stands, number 1 is top 10, number 2 is top 5. 13% is lower than 10, and 8% put it at number 1.
Oh wow! So, some people, I could see it as being number 1 for some people. Honestly, like,
I mean, if you've only seen like 5 shows, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I've seen 9, but if I haven't seen Die Ranger before, it would be probably number 1 on my list. I think I'd put it. King-Ohger is probably my top 3, but Dairanger is number 1 right now.
I'm solidly positive and set that King-Ohger is like my number 9 right now, but it's one of those things where it's like this show may get better on subsequent watchings, or it may get worse on subsequent watching. It kind of depends on how I feel about it. You know what I mean?
That's the thing too, is I don't rewatch a lot of stuff, so it's like I don't like, especially anything that's 50 episodes. Like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna rewatch any of the Showa era Kamen Rider stuff. That's for sure. Because them shits is long, especially Black and stuff. Like, nope.
Well, they're all 50 episodes.
Yeah.
I think you should
just watch Kamen Rider Amazon.
Please watch Black.
I love Amazon.
Oh, Amazon's also short too.
Oh, Amazon.
Yeah, it's very short. Yeah. So, I would say probably another missed opportunity was a proper team power up.
Oh yeah, that is definitely because the crown obviously looked like it could have been passed around, but no.
Yeah, exactly. It had all the colors of the jewels in there, including Jeremy's color. It was all there.
Yep.
Speaking of passed around, you know who needed more screen time?
Stop saying Himeno. Oh no, sorry. Stop saying Nephilah.
Are you saying Nephilah should have been passed around?
I didn't say that. I was just saying listen.
You said
we don't know who the dad is.
I can.
We don't know
much like her son, I can read between the lines, Mr.
That's what the show needed. Jeremy needed to create more racism.
No, Jesus,
even more.
Switch.
I don't know.
Proper Bugnarok society in the second part, because look, I get it. They got killed off in the first episode, but even then, we still got a couple of them popping up here and there still as villains. But for the majority of the time, when we look at the Bugnarok society, it's just the grunts. We didn't see a full-fledged Bugnarok society. Nothing that gave me the inkling of
a tier class system.
There was a tier system, there was a hierarchy, but there wasn't like a, we didn't get to see how much that affected their day.
Yeah.
We needed Commander Ant to come back, by the way. That was still one of the best monsters now.
I mean, he came back as, one of the cloned, zombified, bugs that kept coming back over and over, and there was no substance to them at all.
I wanted the full him back. He got upgraded from commander to General.
Oh God! And then downgraded to lieutenant.
Oh my God!
Can we? I don't think you can say that one.
Yeah,
I don't think you can say that.
That's March 1st.
Don't say that. No.
Wow!
Whoa. Did you put it on screen? We could have acknowledged it.
You could have not put it on screen.
I was just wow!
Right there, over Mark.
I get the reference, but I don't get it.
So
it's a combination with Earthworm
in the US, they were
yeah.
I was going to explain the Earthworm Jim part. I'm not touching the second half of that statement.
We're just not going to.
There's a video out there by Mr. Beat, who does some great history videos. I watch him all the time. Very good. Historical YouTuber, especially when it comes to presidential laws and stuff. So it's good stuff. Go check out Mr. Beat. He's got several millions of subscribers.
Oh, okay. I just googled it. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, quick side tangent. Zio, I guess is
no, not Mr. Beast. I specifically said Mr. Beat.
Listen, Mr. Beast gets enough views.
Beat. Yeah. Take the S out, Mr. Beat.
Zio, I got a question for sort of like a thing for you and me. Mostly because you've seen it, I think, as much show writer as I have recently. What would you recommend? Any of the show series, just for people to start off or just to watch that'll get them interested. Because I say stronger.
I'm not touching the first one with a 10-foot pole just because of the amount. Really not. But definitely, I would say Amazon and Kamen Rider, also known as Sky Rider, but it was Kamen Rider.
Sky Rider.
So
I would tell people to watch Stronger and Super One. Those are pretty good. At least I think.
Super One, I gotta finish.
It's really good. You should finish it.
Zed Cross is a film, Musa Muteki. I mean, that's not really a point of entry.
I mean, you can watch that almost at any point, I guess, technically.
Yeah, you can. And black seems to be like the basic answer to go with. It's like I watch Showa Rider only has watched Kamen Rider Black. Okay.
Or Black RX.
Yeah. Watch the basic answers. So
but yeah. If you want to see cactus balls, what's stronger?
But King-Ohger
again.
Let me see. What else would be a missed opportunity in King-Ohger? I know Crazy Orb mentioned Rita character development. I'm sorry. Sorry, my guy.
Yeah,
y'all were gassing Rita up leading up to things. I saw people making videos strictly dedicated to Rita and how it was like a game changer in things. And now look at y'all. Now look at the character development Rita got. Virtually nothing. The least developed character in the entire show, in my opinion, at least when it comes to the main roster.
I think they had interesting concepts. I just feel like maybe the writers could have done a lot more with Rita.
It wasn't fleshed out well enough, and definitely in terms of
nuggets.
Yeah, nuggets. And I feel like maybe they could have done more with those nuggets. I get why people like Rita, and I like Rita for those reasons too. But I feel like Rita, there was a lot of lore thrown in with Rita. A lot.
The only one with their parents still alive.
Can we see that in the next Tokyo fan club?
Like that's one thing that I'm like, okay, the way you save the like evacuation episode is have a scene of Rita going to their parents to introduce them to be like, y'all got to get out of here.
You better get out of here. And they're like, no. And then Rita screams.
Yeah.
And then they scream.
Just being
fed up. And then we're like, oh, now we know where they get it from.
Exactly. Something like that would have instantly gave Rita a few more notches in the personality game in terms of the development game, because we would have at least had that.
Right.
But no, we didn't get that at all. And it would have definitely fundamentally helped out. Chest of Greatness does bring up another point, as well as something that I brought up during my watch of the final episode on Sunday, was Duga. We know Duga's got kids, and we never see his kids. Like, we never see his family. Like, out of the retainers that we've seen,
they're up at college.
No, I doubt it.
Duga's not the only one. What's his name also does Kuro Jim, or not Kuro Jim, whatever Dubowski's one is. Kuroda. Yeah, he has kids.
Oh yeah, because I remember them saying like when they.
Well, that one would have been easy. Just having kids with the little outfits with their face covered would be funny. They literally could have used any of the kids from the orphanage, like any of those kids. Just have them on set with the little mask, just out there. So.
That'd be funny. Like, this is my family, and it's like the family.
They're all Secret Service.
They are. But Duga is just like we've gotten little tidbits and pieces there when it comes to like Duga's family, and then none of that.
Yeah.
So that would have been a thing, and they definitely spent a lot more episodes focusing on Shiokata is still like the best retainer in my opinion, because they got so much more development. A lot of Shiokata's character development tied into Yanma's backstory and all of that. Hell, all of Yanma's inner circle got more fleshed out than anybody else's inner circle.
Yeah, no, I think we got a little bit for Himeno's, because Sebastian, we got some for Sebastian.
Well, Sebastian's the only one, but I'm talking about like her inner circle when we had that first episode when we got introduced to like what was it, Cleo Urbanus, and who's the other one? See,
yes, I understand the point you're making.
But even then, like when we got these characters, I'm like, I'm sorry, who? And then in further episodes, yes, they expounded on them a little bit, but nothing to a grandiose point to like Yama's inner circle.
But when Shiokara almost had, dude, I was like not crying, but that teared me up.
Oh, like, absolutely.
I legit thought he was gonna die that episode.
Oh yeah, especially like him just with all the confidence in the world, just lying about Yama. He's like, Yama's a dumbass and all that stuff. Just like. That was insane.
Which once again, like a lot of the Yanma focused episodes were like top tier for me. Almost
best blue inside.
Best blue, yeah,
definitely.
I've only seen maybe like 10-ish Sentai, but Yama best blue from what I've seen.
Like,
let's see. Since I can't put in that many people in here, I'm just gonna ask the chat favorite Ranger in King-Ohger.
Oh, because you can't put all 5. I mean, 6.
So I'm just gonna start this as a Q&A and see what we got here. I've never done a Q&A. This is
I would actually, if they can, I would like to see some people say why, if they can put a little short tidbit.
But Yanma definitely was like the best character in there.
Absolutely. I think something like it shined upon quite a bit is like something like the character trio like Yama, Gira, and Jeremy. When those 3 characters are like having moments together, it's something magical.
Yeah, those actors had really good chemistry together.
Yeah, especially when Jeremy and like Yam and Gira switch personalities. I fully believed it. It felt so natural.
That was such a good episode.
Oh yeah,
just showing the range of the acting of them swapping with each other.
The other Punk out here with the cop-out answer. Rita, waifu for Laifu. Kaguragi, best boy. Bacon with the Jeremy. Crazy Orb with Yanma. Blazer Hopper with Yanma. Papillon Purple with as much as I love Rita, Yanma takes the cake. Rider Kick, Gira is my favorite because the first half was all about him and his story for the most part, but Yanma has a lot of story. I would say not exactly, because though the beginning 10 or so episodes definitely felt like a Gira focused story. The second Jeremy got thrown into the mix, it's like, Gira who?
It was yeah, I remember we joked about that, but like he's not even the main character. We have a red and it doesn't even matter.
He literally got sidelined. Because all the globetrotting adventures that we got was with Jeremy right after. Everything was Jeremy focused from then on.
And it's not like to say Gira was a bad character. Absolutely not. In fact,
I like Gira's like character.
I would just say that he's easily not anywhere near my top 10 for best reds.
No. He just doesn't like, unfortunately, he doesn't like steal the show in a way that I was kind of hoping he would. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like taking like what color he was away just as a character itself, not thinking of what they transform into. I really like this character. I think for a while, once he kept trying to like do the whole like villainous laugh and everything, I was like, all right, that's a bit much. Like we already know we're X amount of episodes in. Like, dude, no one believes you. Like,
but in the second half, it went completely away until the end.
No,
and I found that was interesting. The second half, they tried to make him more of like the serious of the 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's like, or the 6. He was like, oh yeah, these guys are fucking crazy.
He was more distrusting of everyone else in the squad, and it's just like, bro, but you're the new guy. Like the fuck.
It's like, because it was hilarious. Because he was like, Jesus, those kings, I tell you, they are something else.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like overlooking into things. I remember, Cloudy, back when we were first seeing Gira become king, and you were saying how every other king was working on the back end to kind of like benefit Shugadam in terms of like Himeno out here, like probably supplying like the clothing for everybody, medicine. and Tofu out here providing all the foods and stuff like that in a way to work. If that was actually something that was presented within the show, then that would have helped out a lot more in terms of building up the character dynamic between them all. But your theory was better than what was presented in the show, because none of that got presented in the show.
My thing is, with the contract that they signed at that part, I was just like, it kind of seemed like they were framing it as like, don't worry, you're not a king yet, so we're gonna take over like this hard stuff for you. And it's like, that's what I thought that meant. But apparently, at least we didn't get that, because 2-year time skip and they didn't go over that shit.
Nope.
That would have been nice to see, though. I do agree.
Yeah, like even like a Tokyo special, like a short where it's like one of the different kings like showing like Gira like how they do things, and then Gira's like, I don't know, weirded out with how they handle things or overloaded with information.
Yeah, kind of like the whole becoming a king episode was very and this technically happened in part 1 because it was the episode with the heat wave in which they started having the whole festival in Shugadam. It was the entire thing of getting him to like feel comfortable in the role of a king, but at the same time it was more like, hey, you gotta drop trying to be the whole serious act and just be yourself. That was the entire point of that episode versus properly teaching him how to be the ruler over his kingdom.
Because he was very like shy and even meek around his own people. Like you're just like,
yeah.
And it's
well, his own people disregarded him because they treated him like shit until the whole Dracula stuff happened.
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely the people shooting on were quick to flip on a dime.
Yeah,
when
that's the other thing that really bothers me. Everyone in Shugadam is just so easily just like, whatever Hat Guy says, we do that. Until the end where he got beat up.
Which it would have been nice if they had shown that not every time that we saw Hat Guy was it Hat Guy, but it was Kamajin playing the game. That was technically an inference that we made with episode 48. But it really would have helped out more if they said, yes, Hat Guy was either here or not here, and sometimes it was just Kamajin pretending to be him. Yep. But they never did that. We kind of had to infer that in ourselves. Let's see here.
Quick question for the audience. Just type it in chat. 1 to 10. How would you rate it to the show? Like, just where's your number score numerically for this show? I'm just kind of
maybe an 8. Maybe an 8 out of 10.
For me, this is definitely 8.5. 8.5 for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the balance between
but I'm helping
because part 1 brings it up so much.
Yeah, between A and B, it would average at an 8.5 for me. It would be like a B plus, is where it would stand for me.
I'm gonna say a 9, honestly.
Ooh, 11 out of 10. Ooh,
Tokupunga.
10 out of 10, 11 out of 10.
Man, you must have not seen a lot of Sentai.
For 11, yeah, like, I'm saying 9 because I haven't seen a lot.
I didn't see anyone do the meme answer of 69, but interesting. Crazy Orb, it's a 6 for you. Oh, damn.
And Crazy Orb was loving this show.
This show hurt you, I guess, or damn.
They were committed. He was definitely committed, and then something happened. I guess nothing happened to Rita, and that's what happened.
Oh yeah, Tokupunk did make a tier list. 9s, 8.5s, 8s, 7. Okay, so around an 8 to 7. Yeah, I can see that. Well, I guess it's the whole spectrum of 8, 7, 9, so 8. I guess a solid 8 for the show for the most part.
Let me see. So looking at still the Q&A on the favorite King-Ohger, there were a few more answers that was thrown in here. Someone did say, well, Musa Muteki said favorite galactic insect because I'm not going to do that. But they were like, also, Gira is my favorite. Okay. Anthony says Rita. Blah, blah, something said Yanma, because if you really think about nothing in this show would be possible since he had the answer for almost every single. That's another thing that I mentioned in my review. Yama is like the chief, like
he's Q. He's
strategist.
He's Q.
Every single strategy that they have is usually thought up by him.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, he's got so many different layers to him, making him just great.
It's
like
great
he comes off as a punk, but he definitely is
got
smart.
The brain.
Yeah, he's the smartest of the bunch.
Considering how he turned a country full of what, like degenerates or degens into like techies, like insane.
They were still degenerates, but now they were degenerates that knew how to code.
And I love that too, because like out of everyone, I feel like the people of Enkasopa had the most unique character, like archetype or character designs for them, because they were punks with brains. Like in Tofu, all you had were the farmers, they were the hard workers. In Ishibana, all of them beautiful, noble-ish kind of thing and all that stuff. Gokhan, they were all convicts. And then I don't know, in Kinsopa, they were like I guess, the most common or like the most generic of people. So it's like out of all of the people of any kingdom, I feel like Yama's definitely had the most interesting draw to them.
You know, I would take an entire side special that's like an hour long, just giving me Yama's backstory.
The Yama special,
a
There
full-fledged
needs to
like
be.
backstory on
and
Yama.
we get Gin. We get to see
Gin. We get to see him like go literally from rags to riches, and then from bags to bitches, like completely just out there,
Yeah.
just slaying it, just out there with his drink.
That's his mixtape title.
Yeah.
Rags to riches, bags to bitches.
Yep.
Yama gas.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
I don't know. I knew instantly that he was probably going to be one of my favorite characters of the show. I didn't know how much, but yeah.
Though for Enkasopa being like one of the few set pieces that they literally just used real world set with like some holographic overlays there, they didn't utilize it much. Like we were like, after seeing Enkasopa in like episode 2, we were like, oh, this is literally just a regular. They're not in their like LED screen, like completely green screen set. They're literally in a real set. They just have some holographic overlays here and there, and that's it. And I'm like, man, you guys really could have taken advantage of all that stuff and kind of like saved on some of your production values by just having some more shit in Enkasopa, but they didn't.
Yeah. Plus, you got to be special when they give you not one but 2 insert themes.
So,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yama was good enough to get all that. So, anything else to add to the King-Ohger storm?
No.
Now that I think about it, going back to what I kind of now I'm like, I do wish Yanma got more stuff in the show for backstory stuff. Now that I think about it, he didn't really get a lot.
You didn't even get someone to come back.
Yeah, when they brought back dead people, no one came from Enkasopa, and I'm like, this was the moment for Gin to return and like give Yama that spark.
My favorite characters.
Like Gin was that old man with a pompadour. Like I want to see this man literally show up, and then like, since we know that Jeremy was the one that taught Gin, like this could have been a full on moment, but we didn't get that. So that was the thing. Let's see. Since I can't, once again, the polls are limited to like 4 options. So I could ask who had like the best theme song, like out of all the characters. Like if you liked like Gira's theme, if you like Yama's one of 2 themes, everybody had their own character song, that type of thing. Yeah, I mean Yama had really good themes. Inferno's still a really good song. So my favorite song for King-Ohger is like Brand New World, which is the King-Ohger Extreme theme song that didn't get utilized that much. So, but even then, like insert themes, it's not that much.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, no. I mean, there's not that much. I mean that there's too much for me to put it in a poll. So, YouTube polls are limited to just 4. That's it.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do with those.
But I will say, yes, King-Ohger was definitely enjoyable. I did enjoy it more than Zenkaiger. So,
yeah, Zenkaiger was weird.
Zenkaiger was definitely a show that happened. Technically, like, since I had been waning on me for so many years because it just felt so paint by the numbers for a good while, that Dom Bros brought it back for me, which is part of the reason why I started doing my weekly reviews when it came to Dom Bros, because if I started with Zenkaiger, I was going to rip that show a new one. And yeah, I just did not enjoy Zenkaiger. Real quickly here, because everybody's on mute, or Mark just disappeared. So blah blah something for $5 says, if anyone wants to see how the Kings would look like with the crown upgrades, JK 5201 made an edit along with Jeremy. You just got to scroll down a bit. Okay. I mean, the crown upgrade for everyone is a missed opportunity. They literally could have passed that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
That's
Like
like
mid-fight. Can you imagine mid-fight taking the crown off of the then just throwing it to like the next person and they do
Yep.
it like
Oh,
hot
yeah.
potato while they're fighting?
I do wonder if like the crown update, maybe they did plan on making it sort of like with Goseiger or Mega Ranger or something, like a Sentai where the entire team gets like the power up together.
And they had the perfect excuse. We know
Yeah, they
Yama can replicate all the shit. All of the shit. Why couldn't he replicate? He could replicate the code for immortality killing, but not a fucking crown.
This could have been like easily like a Shinkenger power up as well, like because that would just tossed around to each one. So
yeah, missed opportunity. I'm just like, y'all could have done it, but then later on they were like, oh, it's a king symbol, so it can't maybe be replicated, and I'm like, man, fuck you. No.
Oh, it's because you have to have the Hosty DNA, remember?
Exactly. There's so much other shit in it. I'm just like, most of these were manifestations of Doug Dead's powers anyway. And Yama still found a way to replicate it.
Also,
or at least unlock his ability.
The other king symbols, they weren't Hosty DNA linked. Or they're, that particular ruler is DNA linked. Yeah. Especially in Yama's case.
So, King-Ohger is definitely good. It is, it's good. It's great. It's amazing in some parts, but yeah, it is a season that is now in the books. It's now there, and now we got Boom Boomger to look forward to and see what they bring to the table. But I do definitely feel that Boom Boomger will be more focused on the younger audience, especially as they get very Pokemon centric with everything else being presented.
I can't wait for after your episode 1 review, people to ask you, where's your Boom Boomger episode 2 review?
I can't wait. Next 5 weeks are going to be amazing.
No, I can't wait for after episode 1 them to ask you, who do you think the 6 will be?
No, it's just there's just going to be like folks commenting. It's just like, you're slacking on those Boom Boomger reviews. Where's 2 through 4? Like, I'm out here waiting.
He only reviewed episode 1. I guess he hates it. Oh
yeah. They don't know the formula. Even though I will explain it literally in that first review. I'll be like, yeah, just so you guys know the formula. This is how it goes.
Oh no, just like Gottschalk again. Uh-oh.
I mean, Gottschalk, I was doing it several episodes in, and then I was just like, I can't. This is not. And the thing is, I was definitely gonna start doing week to week, but then after those Spanner development episodes, they went back to the way it was. It's just like, the glory days of plot relevance and character development and all that good stuff, all that Spanner good shit that we were getting. Finally, Monster Tweak. Here you go. Monster Tweak. Spanner's has gone back to catching L's with this latest episode anyway, so it's.
We're not even shocked, honestly. I'm not. I knew it was going to happen.
Which I got the merch available, Teespring. If you look on there, we got these Span L salt shirts available. So those are there. But yeah, Spanner's definitely back to catching L's, and we'll just see how it goes, because there was a good portion in there in which I was literally like, yeah, Gottschalk's actually, like, their weekly outings are doing better than King-Ohger for me. So I am definitely feeling this. I got to get back into the game. I was doing these catch-up videos and all that stuff. And then the rest of the episodes happen, and it's like, oh, okay. All right. It's just back to it again. I mean, sure, Gottschalk's definitely making money. We got these new upgrades. We got the little the cross hopper figure going in, which I saw the cards, like the parallel cards for cross hopper and all that stuff. And it's just like, it looks weird because in animated he looks like he's wearing a turban.
Oh,
I'm so burnt out on these cards now. I'm just saying.
I was already burnt out on the cards already. So,
like, I don't know what it is. So, like, man, okay, so like, I don't know if it's because I got video games to play, and a lot of video games are coming out. WB2K24, we got Rebirth, Helldivers 2, all this stuff's coming out. And I'm just like,
fuck, I
I'm
need
gonna
a good
watch the
PC to
shows,
run Helldivers too.
but
You need a
why you
better
get on
PC.
PS5?
Just get on
Yeah,
PS5.
but my friends play on PC.
It's crossplay.
It's crossplay.
My PC's downstairs.
Okay.
No, you could get on PS5, put it upstairs, bring your PS5 upstairs, get a second
You're not
monitor.
wrong. You're not wrong.
Crossplay.
Yeah.
Remote play your PlayStation 5 on the PlayStation Portal, and have
But that
crossplay.
also means that you're not playing Rebirth.
My friends also
Yeah,
just got
that's true.
Helldivers too, so I might be starting that boat too.
I need to find more. I bought it physical because I found like one physical copy at a Target, and I got a Target gift card for my birthday. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy this physical because I don't want to buy too many digital games.
All
worry,
right.
I'm
So
gonna
I
finish
think
Rebirth before I start
we actually did talk for a good length, hour, 40 minutes, because the majority of the conversation was definitely King-Ohger. So yes, we definitely did have a pretty good discussion in depth when it comes to King-Ohger and all that stuff. So it's good stuff. I wish someone that thought that the show was absolutely peak could have came on and sent some shit, but no, I didn't reach out to anybody anyway. I was busy playing Rebirth, so it's whatever.
All right, and it's time for Rebirth. Bye.
Rebirth o'clock. There,
Mark, didn't some toys get announced?
Yeah, I sent you.
Apparently,
I sent you a link in the private right here. I say the link to it.
Let
Delicious.
Let me click on this shit. See what the fuck this is.
So I can't wait, Ash. You and I will one day start spreading democracy through the power of Helldivers.
Yeah. Well, I haven't started playing it yet, but I'm still playing Rebirth. But yeah.
And I haven't played it either. It's still shrink wrapped over there somewhere. I'm just like, I got it. Like, go Helldivers. I'm going to Rebirth.
You know, I haven't started playing it. I haven't. If I haven't touched Helldiver,
While Zeal's pulling that link up, guys, I finally got the next premium Bandai Soto set, which I should not have gotten because I'm a hypocrite for premium Bandai, and it's amazing. Oh yes.
Oh, speaking of things people shouldn't have gotten, Zio, that mirror.
What?
That horrible mirror you bought.
Oh, no, I talked about that last week.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did.
All right.
I was about to say, like, I definitely pulled that out last week and played with the buttons on it. So, so yeah, complete selection, modification, blade buckle, and rouse absorber and blade rouser, all of it. Yeah, Mark, how you feeling about
birthday
this?
suit?
3 years in a row, debt champion. Because we got because pre-orders for this go live on the 15th of this month. Can't wait. I have the regular CSM for the blade buckle, and then I have the blade buckle absorber CSM. Like this is good. This is delicious. Now we just need a king form one.
Mark.
But this and the chalice being announced, like there's too much blade.
There's not too much blade. There could always be more chalice. Give me more chalice.
Well, you talk to my CPA. Trust me, there's too much blade.
I'll talk to your CPA and I'll tell them there's not enough blade.
All right, because this is gorgeous. Like, and the fact that like they're slowly announcing stuff every couple weeks, something like I feel like they should just rip the Band-Aid off and give me the full breakdown of every blade thing coming out. Because look at it.
I think the problem is there's probably going to be like insane. Because I'm guessing we're going to get one of these for everyone. So there's going to be a Lee Angle soon.
Well, remember we saw that during the stage show, they had like a display thing out there of toys, and they actually had a CSG for Lee Angle's staff.
Yeah, staff. I know that's coming out soon.
But it has not been announced, but we know that's
coming.
happening because the only other thing we got was Chalice's CSM announced, which also comes with the weapons for CSG.
Now, Mark, what if this runs into the same issue that we had with the Faiz CSM re-release, where
you think I'm fucking opening this thing? You think I'm opening this?
That's cute. The noise he's making.
My Garen and my Blade one are not open. They're still like shrink wrapped in the brown boxes somewhere in my closet. Like these are not getting opened until I have like a house to have them on display. Because one bad thing happens to these, I'm gonna cry, pee my pants.
Oh, God.
At the same time.
The thing is,
so
for this, I don't know like why they chose these shots for it. It's almost like it's like an unfinished prop or something like that. Because because the images that they're using, I'm like, I can see chips already with this, like down here.
I feel like those are DX photos, honestly.
Like, no, I don't need to zoom in on your face.
It's a good face to zoom in on, honestly.
That's the wrong color of that face nowadays.
Listen,
yeah, that helmet.
yeah.
And even looking at like the paint job on here, I'm just like, what is going on? This is weird. These are weird promo photos that you guys got going on.
I swear,
for this.
other than the absorber, I feel like the actual buckle and the rouser are actual like the DX versions they used for the photos. Because that don't look the same. Because I've seen out of
it's almost
out
like
of
they
the
used the
box, how
show
these
props that were actually like getting wrecked on average for
I've seen these out of the box because at a book off near me, they have the Garen one used and they want 500 for it, which is expensive. That's more than it costs brand new. So I even asked them like, oh, can I look inside just to see the quality, check it out? Like, yeah, sure. And they open it up and I can tell you that is not a photo of what the CSM looks like. And obviously the Garen buckle's the Garen buckle's exactly the same as the blade buckle, just green.
I do want the blade buckle though, but I'm like, I'm literally not spending any money.
No, I should get it. Should do it.
Nope.
If you had to choose between getting this or eating carbs, what would you do? Carbs for a whole year with the CSM. What if you?
I would choose carbs.
Look at that thing. Really?
Carbs?
You know what? This is Blade.
Because carbs
just
would
against Blade.
Which I'm legit broke.
On Blade stuff.
I've explained that my job is completely shafting me so hard right now that I'm just like,
shaft them back. You shaft them back harder.
I heard you were getting shafted.
So
Stalefish style.
I mean, they're taking away my company vehicle.
I know.
Yes.
Well then.
Yeah, I thought they let you keep. They let you kept it.
Oh yeah. They haven't contacted me back, but I would have to buy it off them.
Really? Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought their whole thing was that you got to keep it, but you'd have to pay for the gas yourself.
I'd have to buy it off them. So like I said, I'm getting shafted at work.
That's a big shaft, considering how much driving you have to do.
Yeah, so it's not a good time for me right now in my work life. Literally almost every day I'm on Indeed putting in applications. Even like the other day as my boss was talking to me, I was like, yes, sir. Application.
Yep.
Right.
You're just like,
I remember when I was in that situation, I was like, nope. Mentally checked out. I'm like, all right, whatever's gonna give me some money, I don't care about anything else.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm not spending any money until finances get right, because definitely my job is not doing it for me right now. But
if it makes you feel better, there's nothing really good coming out besides this Blade stuff. There's nothing really for toys coming out.
That's everything else I've already got pre-ordered. That I'll still have to pay off once they hit me up for that final fund. But hey, that's it. Even then, the majority of the stuff that I pre-ordered for this year are all high-ticket items. So I might still outdo my last year's number regardless.
Damn.
I have nothing DX related, like pre-ordered. Everything I have is CSM, Premium Bandai. Like, everything's basically a CSM or a CSG. That's all I have on my list of pre-ordered stuff. Outside of like my candy toy stuff, that I don't really count that because that stuff I get cheap. But yeah, everything I have is like high, like it's too much.
No.
Especially if I'm getting a second Disney Imagination belt.
Is it for me? Is it for a birthday present if you're getting a second one?
No, it's for someone else who
got him instantly. Just like, oh no, it's someone else.
They don't trust proxies, so technically they're giving me the money for it, but I'm going to be purchasing it.
And that's for me, right?
The total after I pay for it. No,
it's for Mark, right?
Listen. This thing is amazing.
All right.
So I've heard.
It's I.
Thank you.
It's not all right. So, speaking of Zio, someone asked me a comment on my video when I did my unboxing for this, because me and you have both have the Imagination belt. Who's the main rider and who's the secondary? Obviously, because they commented on my video, I flat out told them there's no way in hell in my personal life or anything I'm ever a secondary. So,
we'll let you guys sort this one out.
Well, it looks like you two have something to fight about.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there.
I don't know. I already look like an anime character, and this clearly.
Mark's got the hat.
But he doesn't fit into an anime.
I could fit into
Is
a
that-
man
It
anime. What
would
are you
fit
talking about?
perfectly.
Well,
in Kingdom
Rider
Hearts.
is.
I'm
Is
so
it would
old. I
fit
was there when anime
perfectly
wasn't.
in
I was there when anime was invented. That's how old I am.
In 1938, you were there in 1938 when anime got
Exactly.
invented.
I'm like
With
Nicolas
the
Cage. You'll find old black and white photos that
Momotaro
look like me.
Densetsu anime that
I
came
was
out
there. I
like
inspired it.
back in the day. Sure.
Oh, great.
I was there. It was right
Bro.
after the Great Depression.
Mhm.
I was driving the old jalopy across the country to the west. It was basically an IRL version of FIFO Goes West or an
Oh.
American Tail, depending on which movie you like more. And
I've seen American
that's
Tail.
kind of- that's American FIFO Goes West was better than American Tail, but that's just me.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I'm old. I was there. I could be an anime character if I want. Sorry, should I just go? I'm gonna go dye my hair now. I'm gonna go get a wig.
Now I gotta watch
anime
some more
character.
Don Bluth films. Thanks.
Well, Mark, whose live stream are you on right now?
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I think we determined who's
Who has won your Toku debt 2 years in a row, though?
3 years in a
Alright.
row and counting.
It's not 3. Yeah, it's not 3 yet.
It
There's
will
some-
be 3. I've seen your pre-order list.
Yeah, that list is bad. I want to cancel some stuff. I might cancel the Faiz Edge and the next Faiz driver. And
That's one thing that I hate about
other
Toku Collectibles is like if you try canceling a pre-order, you kind of forfeit your deposit. It's in there in like
which is
their
bad.
Q&A.
I know it's
Which is part of the reason why I have
Yeah.
not canceled it. Like some people have asked me, well, if you're so hard on cash, why are you not canceling the pre-order? Because I
He's already
lose
made
out on the money.
Because he
Yeah,
made the
they're just throwing
commitment.
away
The money
money,
is
yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
That's why, like, if I have to do any of that stuff, I'll do like proxies or other stuff. And when I get the invoice, I'll do the PayPal pay in 4.
Yeah.
It's every 2 weeks compared to every month, but it's better than going to do something and then getting a freaking your deposit's not taken back. And if you're 3 payments in out of 4 or 5, then guess what? You can't get any of that money back.
Yeah.
I like money too much to want to lose it.
So I mean,
Blazer, no, that's Simba key is ass. Okay, listen. Simba key is ass on the imagination belt. I don't like that key. It was mid.
the Woody belt is ass. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
yeah. The Woody belt doesn't have a jewel, does it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it does have a jewel. It's just smaller than
No.
everybody else's jewel
Yeah.
because
Oh.
of the
It's like a
actual
little-
emblem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It ain't shit.
Looks like
My wife went through all the keys and she's like, these look really cool. Then she's like, does it do anything else? I'm like, no, what else do you want to do? She's like, I don't know. It would be cool if it played the movie. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, look at that. Kind of cool. Actually, if it played
That's
some of them.
kind of
I was
depressing.
like,
I mean, even looking at the resolution of the belt, it's like they could have put in some more animation work into the visuals of it, which is one of my biggest things.
so the funny thing is, no one has tried to hack this and look inside
That's
of it
what I
yet
was going to
because
say. Has
feel like-
anyone tried hacking
because
it?
of the price of it, no one wants to like risk. Because I was like, given the way the keys are, this and that, I was like, they could release more easily.
I've heard. I don't know where I heard this from, but I think I heard that like the DX Gokaiger keys fit in it.
Yeah, but they don't turn anything in it.
But they
That's
don't,
the-
they don't make a sound.
yeah, so the thing is, if someone out there would put out an STL file for a 3D print, that because that's literally what all we're asking for is just of the different styles of the keys that could possibly be a combination, then it would be very easy to look into the belt and do all that.
Yeah.
I still got to
Especially
repair
when-
my 3D printer to do all that. But
Yeah.
still.
I still have to take mine out of the box and set it up when I have space. I don't have space.
But
I
even
keep
then,
buying stuff.
trying to do something like, say, the Desire driver, where you can literally just add a little piece in there and run it through the runner. Thing is, this is going into the slot here. If it's not in there securely and you turn it and it breaks off in there, guess what? You just fucked up your goddamn CSM.
It's stuck in there.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope.
That's in
After
there.
this
You can't get
weekend,
it out.
I want to put on display, but I had a mishap with my Dyza where my Forza driver at 2 a.m. fell off of that and actually broke.
Oh shit!
So I was just like, I don't know if I trust because this is obviously a lot heavier. Like it's a little bit heavier than the Forza. I'm like,
Is it
it's
gonna-
also-
but the thing is, that freaking brick's been up there since Guitar started. That freaking Desire driver's been there since the show, like Geet started.
It's
I'm
better
like,
than
oh, but
waking
the
up to
Forza-
find out that Orga fell all over your shit and all that stuff.
no.
I'm not going to go into that, but
I
that
throw
definitely
I would throw
happened.
hands with it.
It's all
I would throw
centered,
hands with it.
isn't it? Isn't the belt
It-
itself off center when open?
Yeah.
No.
If it is open,
Yeah, when it's open, yeah.
Yes, it is definitely off center. That's one of my pet peeves about it. Is literally that because of that. If there was a proper rider for this and this stays open the entire time, then it's definitely going to be like, oh, the suit actor's rolling around. Oh no, that hinge is gone. They're definitely
So they definitely got to close it back up after they're done. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If only they did more with this.
That really
I know. I was looking at that. I was like, "What is this? Is like the handle where you're supposed to like swing it or hit someone? It turns into a weapon. Like, oh.
Even then,
Also,
it's flabby.
Yeah,
it's not like.
Is that
it's not like a GameCube handle where you could throw hands with somebody with it.
I can't throw hands with this one. I wouldn't. I could try, honestly. I don't.
You do more damage just holding the fucking die-cast
I feel like the
keys
hinge would
like
break on
Wolverine
this thing.
claws.
Dude, those keys are heavy. I did not expect that when I got the box. I was like, this box is heavy. And I took the driver out and I was like, oh, it's not the driver.
No, wait. I took out the keys first and I was like, oh my God.
Keys are...
This is like a good fucking 3-4 pounds, just these keys alone.
There's the heft.
I cut out of my video. Actually, I forgot what it was. I'll have to look it up. I took the scale out. Even in my video, I'm like, I'm going to take the scale out and weigh these. And I cut it all because it took too long of me. I was like, it was like some weird, like freaking druggy stuff. Where I'm like sitting there putting the little key on there. I'm like, all right,
that reminds me. I do have a pocket scale myself because I used to weigh Pokemon cards to determine which one had the cards. Oh, yeah. I was one of those guys. That would go to a store with the scale, take out the Pokemon packs, weigh them on there, find the one that's like a 0.1% weightier, and be like, that's the one. That's the one that's got it. Great. I'm gonna buy that one. Little trick.
I used to do that. I did that during the pandemic era with Pokemon cards. I'm like, let me get that chunky Charizard.
I found that out from folks that were getting like the sports cards, like the baseball, basketball cards and shit like that, because they'd be like the ones that have the autograph weigh like 0.1 gram more than the rest of them. So I know which ones.
Or if you got the whole material on them.
Yeah, because I got that.
And I was just like, oh, where did you like what kind of scale did you use? And learned all the tips and tricks. And I was like, does this work for Pokemon cards? It does. Oh my God. So I was like, yep. Investing in all that shit.
It's great. So we do have Alex asked, do any of you guys got anything for Kamen Rider Amazon toys? The only thing I have is the CSM from Amazon's. I don't have anything from Amazon.
Yeah,
I don't have anything from Amazon.
It's right there. I did a whole review over it. So
got my dirt cheap during GameStop's clearance and this and that. I was like, oh, I'll get that. No,
I mean, I got that one as a Christmas gift. So
nice.
Free. Nice.
No one gets me Kamen Rider stuff.
Nothing's better than free.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, there is free, and then they throw in $100 in the middle of it.
Sure. If anyone's ever that nice to me, no, never, never a thing. So,
no offense. I don't buy gifts. I accept gifts.
Oh, wait, hold on. What was that?
Did you get your hardcover?
Oh, you're muted.
Ooh.
I'm muted. Yeah, my hardcover are up today.
Oh, so nice.
Okay.
Boom.
You can get the retail version of this one, but yeah, this is the Kickstarter one. That's the one with all the graphic novel stuff in it.
Yeah, dude. I will say this. Say we want boom. They even their regular retail covers are great, but their Kickstarter stuff they do is always just so amazing with those covers.
What tier did you get for that?
I can't remember. I know you could buy it separately, and I know that I bought some of the pins separately. Like I've got 2 30th anniversary pins because I didn't know if I made it into the top like 24 hours because of time zones.
Okay.
But then again, I think I got these ones separately. But then I also bought the 101 variant that came with it. But I also got it down. But I also got it. It's down there. But I've got the Green Ranger. I'll show it now.
Nope.
It's a good Kickstarter. That's the one I did the tier 9 for.
What I'm excited for, I'll get for the return one. Because I backed that one, and this one.
Nice.
Yeah, so hardcover copy 10.
Oh, that one's the hardcover one.
What's I think it's one of the more expensive variants.
Yeah, no, I know it's. There's so many variants.
I was talking to Eric when we did the podcast, and he went over his spreadsheet that he's got, his Excel sheet of all.
I thought I had all the variants, and I saw Eric going for the store exclusive ones. I was like, you know what? That is your lane. I do not need this many variant covers anymore.
No, like I don't know when the episode's going to release, but I joked with him saying, "Are you going to get all the variants for MMPR The Return?"
I mean, I kickstarted the freaking one that came with like the fancy Dan Morris stuff. I should have, but
I think I did as well. I kickstarted the ones that came with the 2 hardcovers of MMPR Pink and The Return.
Yeah, I know. I did that one of the hardcovers with like the slip cover also. Speaking of,
and I think
you guys, Massiverse Kickstarter is now live for the fighting card game.
Oh, fuck! I need to back that. Like,
and if you go on their campaign page, you'll see a certain face in a really bad thumbnail. I go like this.
Oh, is it a?
I'm bad at thumbnails.
Is it a proper TCG?
No, it's a fighting card game. So it's like quick 5 to 10, 15-minute games. It's not a full TCG. It's like an actual fight, like almost like a war type thing. But
okay,
I might. I'm gonna have to back that.
Yeah, because they're gonna have exclusive. They have an exclusive expansion already for it too.
Where can I get this link to this Kickstarter?
I retweeted it a few times. I don't know what it is. I think it's just Massiverse fighting card game Kickstarter.com.
I didn't know Twitter was still a thing. I thought it was X.
It is X.
I don't even know.
No one calls it that.
I call it Twitter.
No one calls it X.
It's called
They call it re-Xing?
Yes.
Re-Xing.
Twixing. No, the card game's a lot of fun, and they have a new expansion and a special like villains pack that you get exclusive with Kickstarter. And I know this card game it's compatible with all the other ones, so they did one for that Aegis robot like board game and all these other ones. And I was like, oh, that's cool that they're all kind of. It's kind of like that weird.
Here it is.
Called there's something versus. Where it was like they had a My Hero card game, and then they're eventually going to do an IP of like Mortal Kombat and all these other ones, and all the different IPs could actually still have card games against each other.
You still get 17 days, Ash, or 16. I don't know how it works for you.
Yep.
Did you read? Did you read Radiant Black?
Real quick.
Oh, 20. Yeah, these. They sent me these. They sent me this 2 weeks ago.
I don't fuck bugs,
and I was just like.
I said Himeno because I don't want to die, have death by snoo snoo. Yeah. I know how spiders work. Once that snoo snoo's over, they eat you.
Worth it.
So you're gonna be that corpse champion. That's gonna be like this.
I quit smoking. You'll see me holding a cigarette, just like,
just like that.
They're like, who is that? It's like, it looks like the guy from Thinner, where it's just all skin and bones. And like, yep, I did it for the culture.
I did it for you.
I did it so you didn't have to.
Everyone will be like, man, he's a man of science.
Yep.
So brave.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to go deaf by snoo snoo, so I'm good. So Himeno's the way to go.
I would care.
So
I'm just like, let me go in.
Now, some people do want to discuss the Faiz 20th, which I did see. Did see. Cloudy, you saw it, right?
I saw it with really shitty subs, but yes. Okay.
These guys have not seen it, so it'd be like kind of like spoiler-free type things. So keep spoilers going. I will say this. I was wrong. It is definitely a sequel to the series. So there's contradictions to the series within this special, but it does get explained within the special in a way.
So like what can we talk about, what can we not? Because there's a lot of like,
well, I mean, it's really just vague allusions to things in terms of what's on there. So yeah, I will say that the title card for the Faiz 20th does show scenes from both the show and the film, which makes it confusing. Though there is a lot else going on in there that within the context of the special itself, which is only an hour long. It's not an hour. I mean, it's not a full movie. It's literally an hour long. So it's like, okay.
It's good though. I still think it's good.
It's good. I will still say for myself. Now, I've only seen the special once. And during the time it took me to watch it, I got a lot of work calls that happened because pretty much the second I woke up and saw, hey, 5 subs, 20th, they're out there. It's good quality. Get it. I was like, good, downloaded it. But of course, it was a Wednesday for me. So busy work day for me in general. So I kept getting calls. I had to stop constantly. What was an hour-long film took me about close to 3 hours to get through because I had constant interruptions in the middle of watching it. But I did watch it. It was okay. But I will say that Paradise Lost is a superior film.
I agree with you there. By the way, what did you think of the effects of the suit? Like when we got Excel? Because I thought those were great. Actually.
So of course we did see ahead of time that there was going to be a Faiz Excel in this. I enjoyed it. It was nice. It was very Shin Kamen Rider-esque when he pulls out the Excel form. So for anybody who watched Shin Kamen Rider, if you remember the fight with Hachi-Og and the way that she was moving around with the fast speed and all that stuff. Now imagine that, but it's Faiz. And that's how they did the Excel form on here, which I thought was actually really, really good.
Yeah.
But for a lot of it, there's a lot of things that I would have wished happened more so than not. I don't care for what happened to Smart Brain, and that's once again I'm trying to be vague about everything, but the film itself is sequel bait. It's sequel bait.
Oh yeah, the very end is like, yeah.
So the thing is, if you think you're going to have a proper conclusion with this film, you won't. It literally sets itself up for more continual stories. Whether or not Inoue is committed to doing more or not, that remains to be seen because literally nothing else was announced. So we have no idea. We are now left with an open-ended conclusion, which is one of, I would say, the stipulations of Heisei Phase 1 shows. A lot of them had kind of like open-ended conclusions, meaning that the way that the seasons ended, there was like, there's more story there, but we're not going to touch on it. And that's kind of how this movie ends.
It's left to interpretation.
Yes, there's more there, but it's whether or not they decide to tackle it or not. But there's definitely way more seeds going on there than anything.
Thoughts on that final fight? I enjoyed it personally. What do you think?
I did. I actually got hype. I
really liked
I audibly cheered.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was one of those. Because normally when I'm watching things not on stream, I'm definitely a lot more recluse, more like focused in on what's going on and not having to obviously narrate or say anything going on because I'm watching it in my lonesome. But when that final fight happened and the thing happened,
yes, we know
when the thing happened, I was like, oh, they doing it.
Yeah, because that's what I was like. Because I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of a nice little twist to this.
Yeah, it was a good thing because a thought that was going in my head going into like a lot of this was like, how is Faiz going to be represented in crossovers going forward?
Right.
The ending answered that question for me.
It makes sense.
So it did.
There's some things that with the ending of Faiz, I'm still confused on, but it's okay. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think the way that they ended the Faiz portion of the series leading into things, like the interpretation was there and they kind of played into it here, but because the actors were already older, we don't know how long of a time jump it was between that flashback to the thing that happened at the end of the series to the moments leading up to the show. We don't know how long the actual time skip is. But I will say, this is like the only spoiler that I will say. that the excuse for Takumi leaving is he had to go out to get milk. Not milk, but mayo. But he literally pulled I got to go out to the grocery store. What you got to get? Well, I need some mayo. Great. I'm going to go get some mayo. That was the last time he was ever seen. So yeah, he left, got some mayo, and we never saw him again until he came back. The funny thing is, when he comes back, the first thing he does is throw the mayo, saying, "I'm sorry, I'm late."
Yeah.
So that was like the only spoiler I would throw in there that doesn't really add context in it, but I just thought it was fucking hilarious. Man literally went out to the grocery store, never came back again until he does, and then he's just like,
I will say this for those of you like who haven't seen the film yet. There are a lot of really cool hype spectacle kind of moments in there, especially with like the combat and stuff. So please look forward to it. It's very nice.
Also, look, we're trying to be spoiler free when it comes to our discussion, and you guys are just completely just saying
they are
I've
going out. They're just
I've seen the Orphanok sex clip.
I've seen all the.
I think everyone's seen.
I don't even care about spoilers that much because it's like now that I know I gotta freaking finish Faiz because I was like, oh, I'll watch the movie and then I can watch this because he was like, you didn't watch the show, just watch Paradise Lost. I'm like, okay,
that's the way it seemed, but then threw the curveball,
and then nope.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is. You thought you could predict an OA, but you can't.
It's true.
And the thing is, even when it comes to like the Paradise Regained allegory, there is no allusions to that poem within this film in itself. So it was like you failed me, Noe.
We all learned valuable lessons today about this.
Yes.
So the thing is, I'll give it a couple more rewatches. I will be streaming it on Sunday night again, just to watch it. There is a particular scene that people are like, "Can you play that scene?" There is a certain act that is portrayed on there that the TOS is not fond of, and I'm like, the act only counts if, but the act doesn't count because they lived after it, so it doesn't matter. And I actually thought that particular scene was goofy because the way they landed was like, oh, hilarious. Hilarious. So it does have a lot of Inoisms with it, but I would say that it's not my favorite piece by any means. As much of a Faiz fan as I am, I will say that it's not my favorite Faiz content in general.
It's good, though.
It's like I enjoyed it. Of course, the biggest thing that people are going to have, one of the things that I had when I watched this, because of course I went into it as spoiler free as possible, was y'all remember John from Geats?
Yeah.
He finally gets the henshin on screen.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. I was just like, wait a second, I know who that is. And he says it, and then he transforms. And then I'm like, look at that. Inoue out here doing what Takahashi couldn't do.
Stop. Calm yourself.
Out here having an off-screen henshin while here in Fai's 20th, the man finally gets it.
Zio, my hand is quivering. Stop.
And it's great. He out here doing the Lord's work. Inoue out here doing what Geats didn't provide us with. They give us this man giving us a proper henshin. Did they give us that was one of the faults that I have, Bacon, is that there is no reference to Kiba whatsoever. Order. Well, the thing is that there's no reference to the film whatsoever outside of like the beginning title card.
God, it would have been so nice to see like an Orga next.
Like for Kaido being such a pivotal part in this, he had no reference to the trio that he was a part of. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that I've really found to be a fault, because the thing is, Kaido was part of his own trio. Of course, we had like the Takumi, Mari, Keitaro trio, but of course Keitaro is missing from this, so we get his nephew Jotaro. Or rather, it's Keitaro, but still, it's still like the fucking it's the whole Joestar reference. It's nice, but yeah, there was no proper Kiba reference, which I thought was like a missed opportunity when it comes to things. There is a moment in there in which they are talking about Takumi coming back, and they're like, "Well, look, Kusaka suddenly came back and we thought he died, so maybe Takumi's alive. And I'm like, that's right. Why is Kusaka alive? Are you guys going to address that?
I was trying to not say that because we know, what happened.
And the thing is, it's like they will address that in the film. So that is a major. Well, the thing is, Kusaka dies in both the film and the series, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Mm. That man's going to die. If you see that man in an OA project, he's dying.
Mm.
So it's a lot of those aspects. I'll have to rewatch it a few times, but I would say that I left out of it just okay. Not like the gospel, not anything amazing. And once again, this is me speaking as a hardcore Faiz fan. I thought it was just okay. It was good. Not it's definitely not going to be like S rank territory for me. What's my rating for the film? Once again, I got to watch it a few more times. To properly cement my feelings for it.
What's your rating for the suit now that you've seen it in action?
Will you review it because you're the Faiz guy, or?
I mean, I will say it when I do. I will do a formal review for this. Mm-hmm. But for right now, I would say it's not an S, and it's possibly not even an A rank.
Ooh. Controversial.
By the way, so that
and once again, this is me coming as a Faiz guy. From here, I think maybe my expectations were too high.
Maybe because you had an OA, you had Faiz, you thought amazing.
Yep,
already. But
and then of course 20 years of cooking, I was just like out here, just maybe. It's like it gave me some explainers, but at the end of the day, the explainers were not fully satisfactory. And because of the runtime only being an hour long, I was like, y'all could have done so much more.
Give me 2 hour feature.
No, even then, like, give me the additional 30 minutes of something else. Also, give me like the full, like, adult-oriented Orphanok pounding scene. Just give me that.
They would have had like them eating ramen instead if that was ever going to be aired on TV.
Oh no! I mean, it's Toei Tokusatsu fan club. That's part of the reason why there was not a lot of eating anyway, because I know he could get away with much more doing it on this. So he did some more stuff.
Oh, so final rating on Nick's Faiz suit, or all the suits now that you've seen them all in motion.
Muse is it's like a C. I still think that the shoulders are still
Yeah. Also, I don't like the way it fights. Not really a big fan.
Faiz is built like a Dorito. Definitely also top heavy on a lot of the aspects. It looks much better in motion, I would say, than just looking at the suit dead on. So I would say in film, it is definitely like A to S tier. But if you look at it from like just regular promo shots, just suit standing basic by itself, it's like B tier. But I will say that Faiz Excel, new Faiz Excel, in motion, much better than the little crappy promo shot that they had. Because the little crappy promo shot was not good. Definitely way better when you see it in motion. And Kaiza is still like C tier.
Oh. So only the Faiz
Delta though. Delta out there looking great. Even though it was not a new suit. It was not a new suit. We just got Delta in there.
Delta's always been an amazing suit.
Delta was always top tier suit. So, But the reason why I say there is a lot of essential viewing when it comes to this. You have to have watched the series. You have to at least seen the Lucky Clover arc of things. I would say you can watch up until the end of the Lucky Clover arc and into the introduction of the Orphanok King arc of Faiz, and then just skip straight into the movie. Because honestly, the Orphanok King is not referenced whatsoever, is not alluded to whatsoever. There is no point of contention when it comes to the Orphanok King, when it comes to the Faiz film. So literally, if you just have the point of reference of Delta's inclusion in the series, and when it gets passed off to like Mihara, then that's it. That's all you got to watch of the show, and then you can jump on to the Faiz 20th, because anything that happened afterwards is not even talked about whatsoever. So that would cut out like a good 15, 17 episodes from viewing for some folks. If you're just trying to enjoy Faiz, even then, like the later half of Faiz suffers from issues as well. Because I will still say the whole introduction to Orphanot King was not that great at all. So,
and then the ending, well, part of it.
I mean, the ending was good. It definitely stuck the landing for a show. But a lot of
no, I meant the ending of the arc of the Orphanot King. Like,
yeah. No. I mean, Outsider's still doing stuff with him. He's apparently a Kamen Rider now, so it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, that's a quick spoiler-free talk with minor discussions about it. We'll get into it probably more next week once some of y'all actually watch this, and maybe once I actually beat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and actually get around to doing that review for it. But I gotta go ahead and
I don't know if I'll end up beating Final Fantasy within a week.
Look, even though I'm working next week, pretty much all my day tomorrow, minus that live stream. As soon as I leave here, I'm playing that game probably until like 2 a.m. until I pass out.
Oh, yeah.
When I wake up in the morning, it's going to be playing more until I got to do my live stream. I'll just be hanging out with my kid in the living room. He can play Among Us on my Switch and shit like that. So if people see me on my Switch playing Among Us, going like, wait, what are you doing? I'll be like, no, that's my kid playing Among Us.
I've got the next 3 days off.
Zio's playing Among Us. Your son is playing Rebirth. That's what's really happening.
So, yeah, sure. His reading literacy is not that great currently.
Look, you don't need something that's played in English. You can hear it.
Yeah, when they explain the tutorial, he's definitely not gonna understand.
You just button mash.
Just button mash. That's what I do. You think I do anything? I'm just hitting square the whole time. I'm not doing anything else. I'm like Punisher mode, square.
Rebirth is I mean, you're also getting the game late. The person that sent this, I know that they're not getting the game until next week anyway, because I'm like Amazon fucked them over. Yeah,
I'm probably gonna play it over the next 3 days. I have the next 3 days off, so that's at least 60 hours to play the game. So let's see how that goes.
What the heck makes you equate Inoue with successful? Well, he did write a lot of my favorite writer shows, and he wrote Dombros. So there's that. But the thing is, I did exist in a time in which we thought that Inoue got played out, was essentially a hack, things like that. So I've been through the good times of Inoue. I've been through the bad times of Inoue. So,
and then you thought all the good times are back.
Exactly, because when the man was out of the game for so long and came back with Dombros, I was just like, this is the proper second coming. Come to find out, no, he definitely is good when it comes to like working with a new IP. When it's an IP that he's worked on before, he's not cooking as much. So it varies. It varies in there. You'll get your varying degrees of Inoue.
I need the people to make like a supercut of like you're talking about Faiz before that now.
Well, because the thing is, my speculation train was on there. But the second I saw that literally, I did not know the runtime of it until I downloaded the film. Once until I legally obtained the film.
Your tickets to the Japanese cinema, and then they told you that the film was going to be an hour long.
Once I saw that the runtime was literally like an hour, I was like, "Oh, that's not enough. That is not long enough." And and literally, like during a lot of the beginning portion of it, I was glassy-eyed watching it. I was like, "This ain't doing it." And I know, Mark, even though you didn't have the context of it, you said that the beginning, you lost interest in the beginning because you were like, "What the fuck is even going on?"
Is very slow.
Yeah.
It's so.
And the thing is, I kind of knew what was going in, but I was like, "This is a bad start. This is not a good start for this at all."
But it picks up.
So yeah.
Also, like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I expected more from Inoue just because he gave us one of the best Kamen Rider films ever. So, like, I can see why some people would associate his name.
What film is that?
Missing Ace.
What? Sorry, I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
You heard me. Kamen Rider Blade, Missing Ace.
Really?
Which hopefully we'll get the Glaive CSM announced too, so I can be even more in debt, even though my rent is going up in April.
Stop talking about spending more money, Mark. We know.
It's not about spending money. I just see it as contributing to Bandai's future like success and not going bankrupt.
When they make the blade wall of you.
What if, like what they're doing with Deca Ranger right now, they release like the board jackets that Kenzaki and
they already did. They're on pre-order.
Yeah.
Really?
They're like $300, $300 or $400.
Yeah.
Trust me, they already got the board jackets. The tapestries are coming out. The
They are
CSGs,
pimping
the
out
PSMs.
Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any other places I can eat those tapestries?
Other than Toku Collectibles, I've never seen the tapestries listed on anything. I've never seen them
I
on
can't find them on eBay or
Mercari
anything
for
like that. No, because
I don't know how they
'cause
show
they
up.
sell
I
out-
never see them
they s-
anywhere.
They sell it so quickly on Tokyo Collectibles. That's the thing. Because I was
He
like,
doesn't get a
oh,
lot.
maybe I'll get it later.
Ooh. Oh shit.
Yeah,
that's
I don't know.
So.
Oh.
I've legit never seen them anywhere else online to buy.
No, that's why I've tried finding them and I can't find them.
It's a shame.
But yeah, no, the board jackets, they announced the board jackets before they even announced anything for the 20th anniversary stuff. They did it around the time Tajimana showed up in Outsiders. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, look at this board bomber jacket for like $360. And I was like, it looked gross for that price.
Guys.
Plus, I live in San Diego. It's too warm. I can't wear that shit.
I've got to do an early out. I'm getting a kind of a work call noted from the Discord, so I've got to get going. See ya.
Okay.
Make sure they pay you double.
I might have to get.
I'm salary.
Yeah.
I might have to get the Yama, the Tomboja tapestry.
All right. Have fun, Cloudy.
I won't. This is what I've been going through all week. Sorry, guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He ain't gonna play Rebirth.
Now the thing, Mark, is of course with like my current feelings towards the Faiz film. Let's say that we do get a Blade film, and it's not up to par.
It's never gonna be up to par. The thing is, when you get to the level of anniversary movies, this and that, I will tell everyone I am biased. Blade is my favorite season, my first season ever. I think Missing 8 is a great. I already know in my head whatever I built up, whatever they put out is going to be like trash compared to what's in my brain.
Yeah, because that's my entire thing. Is like for me being a Faiz fan, like that's exactly what I went into with this film. I had high expectations. I saw all the Inoisms of it all that happened here, and probably for the Blade, if they do a 20th anniversary Blade film, it's probably going to be Inoue again anyway because he did write the previous film.
Yeah. And it's one of those things too. It's like, well, what do you take into canon? Because like when they did the stage show, they said like everything that happened in Decade and Zio was canon, and I'm like, yeah, but then why the hell did you write a novel and then Missing 8? Like,
no. I mean, it technically wouldn't because I would say with the Faiz 20th, anything that was not written by Inoue before in like any of the previous specials is non-canon. None of that stuff exists. It's literally just that aspect. But I will say, knowing Inoue and how he writes, how would you feel if the movie started off and Hajime and Mana have a child?
I mean, I figured he would. Honestly,
it's just there. It's just like they have a kid, and then that's the new. That's a new Joker. He has like the Crimson Joker.
They give us another Joker. I swear to God, I'd be okay with it.
But this one's natural born Joker.
I just think whatever they put out is not gonna be cool. Ooh, we got something good over there.
Not good.
Oh, what's not good?
Oh God, what?
I found him on eBay.
Why are they that much?
That's Australian dollars. Keep in mind.
Australia, you got Australian money.
So I don't know that.
So
It'd be like.
I don't know the currency exchange from Australia to US.
Yeah. I might just buckle and get someone. Tokyo Collectibles going to need something to hang around the house.
Yeah, like literally, that's the only place I've seen that has the tapestries. Because I know they have the Blade ones up, and I'm like, do I cave in? I was like, I don't.
And then if I don't cave in long enough, then they're sold out.
No, they saw it like mostly within like a day or two for most of their tapestries. I have
because they've got King-Ohger ones, and I wouldn't mind getting the Yanma one. Because Yanma was my favorite blue for that season. Well, they've got like the Kiba Ranger from Die Ranger on there.
I always think about whenever the pre-orders go up, just buying the whole set one, and then just keeping the one I want and selling the other ones for markup.
You know, I would say that there was some major like Ultraman news this week, but then that news turned out to be fake. So
the only one that came out was the Netflix thing.
Yeah,
there was like some trademarks for like ARC and like a bunch of different forms and shit like that, and people were taking it as like the gospel, and then it's just like, oh no, it's fake. So
until they announced it, well, did you hear the thing about how they said freaking all of Blazar was the freaking prologue?
They can be seen as like the prologue to like another show, that type of thing. Yeah,
to the Blazar show they want to do, and I'm like, well, this is like their whole new universe they're building up, so I was like, it makes sense that it would be like a prologue to this new era. But yeah, the only real thing I saw was the Netflix Ultraman Rising got a release date for like June 14th or something like that, and then they already have SH Figure Arts coming out like crazy for that movie.
What was a show?
The little baby. Is it a show? I don't know if it was a show or a movie. I thought it was a movie.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's a film.
Little penguin thing, the little penguin baby thing.
Yeah, the little baby kaiju has one. Ultraman himself has one, and then the adult kaiju has one. And I'm like, you know, that's pretty cool, but like, yeah, because I'll say it's a movie. Yeah, but it's like nothing else for Ultraman. Like, it's pretty quiet right now with Ultraman stuff. I think it's going to be for a couple more weeks. They know not to put anything out right now because Boom Boomer, and they know if they announce anything right now,
we'll get eaten up by Boom Boomer.
It depends. I guess we'll see if Boom Boomer does like fill into the hype, because honestly I don't think that the hype train for Boom Boomer is anywhere near the high that it was for King-Ohger. I feel like King-Ohger had a higher hype train.
King-Ohger was high. Oh yeah, I remember that.
So I feel it's kind of like tepid in comparison to what we had before, because a lot of people are definitely expecting like, you know, back to basics, but definitely a more kid-centric Sentai season again. So we'll see. I mean, we're literally just a day away. We are literally like a day away from getting Boom Boomer. We'll just see how if there's going to be any indication to it, it's how fast the fan sub groups get to subbing it. Because I know King-Ohger, the massive hype train, those subs were out really fast. Down Bros, remember, there were so many people going like, what the fuck is this? And
I was making jokes about like, where the fuck are these subs at?
No one subbed it. It took like one lone person on Twitter to sub that first episode.
And they weren't good subs at first. Like
they were not.
Sort of like, you know, they were saying, I'm still learning Japanese. This is so no offense to that person that subbed it, but they were sort of like, there was like the Thanos final do it myself.
Pretty much. Yeah. And that's just because so many other fan subgroups were like, yeah, this show ain't it. Even though it ended up finding its following, and definitely in Japan itself ended up finding its following in terms of that aspect. Yes, the whole poggers scene that got like thrown around everywhere on there. The thing is, it's like Sugoi in the translation. Yes, I can understand the poggers thing, but the thing is that that's very at the time talk that would not age well when it came to subs. Like if someone like 10 years from now watches Down Bros, sees those subs, watches that, they'll be like, what the fuck is poggers? Because that entire terminology is going to be dead language by then. Like ain't nobody looking at subs from 15 years ago when we would type in leet speak back in those days and going like, oh, I completely get exactly what it is. No, they don't, because that's dead internet language. Internet lingo comes and goes faster than Latin existed, because Latin is a dead language, but Latin at least lasted for, you know, several hundreds to potentially thousands of years. Well, 1,000 years. While internet speak comes and goes with decades, if not faster than that. So never a good idea to translate something with current day speak. You want to go with what is the Merriam-Webster terminology of what you're going to get in there. Just saying. It'll work. But anyway, look, we are 2 hours, 35 minutes in. It's a decent amount of time, especially for talking over an hour when it comes to King-Ohger. But
we didn't talk about Gotchard. Oh no, we did.
We did. But
I
think the the three of us kind of want to get to another game anyway.
I just saw the most disappointing thing on the internet.
What is it?
Oh no, I was gonna
Kong
say
rides on Godzilla in the new movie. He jumps on him, grabs one of the spikes, puts his feet on the side, and right. I'm like, you know what? I don't know what the hell, what in the Fast and the Furious they're doing to this franchise right now. But
the only thing that would make it even crazier is if Godzilla suddenly transforms into a vehicle while he's riding him and becomes a motorcycle.
Every time I see something about this movie, I'm like, all the good faith and goodwill that Monarch gave us is just getting thrown out the window on being able to take this monsterverse as like something serious and good with characters. And I'm just like, motherfucking Kong. Like, nope. I was like, this is stupid. I can't wait to see the movie. I'm gonna shit on it so much.
It'll be worse if they start throwing in like tie-ins to the monster. Like if you get like Keiko showing up out of nowhere, just being like Godzilla vehicle mode activate, and you just suddenly see him transform. It's like this is what we've been doing.
She pulls out a dragon dagger, starts playing it, and Godzilla comes out.
Oh my god.
Well, my thing is like they've already spoiled so much through all the freaking different trailers. Like we already know that there's a bigger bad that's gonna show up. That's not Scar, which is the most unoriginal name for any sort of villain ever. Like Lion King did it, we know. But it's like now I'm like, great, we're gonna have two monkeys in King Kong and this little mini freaking Kong, and then this weird like Godzilla that's like the size of like a little iguana but bigger that's moving around. I don't even know what the hell that thing is, and I'm like, there is so much shit going on. See, it's kind of like King of Monsters, but all the monsters are on the same team.
See, little did you know that the Planet of the Apes new line of movies was actually a prequel to the Monsterverse films, and that's actually the prehistoric Earth before natural disaster nuked things back to zero and things started to have to back up. But Kong comes from that new monkey civilization that we got in those Planet of the Apes films.
So what you're trying to tell me is all this bullshit can be blamed on James Franco?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense, honestly.
Yep. The big bad is going to be a giant cyborg James Franco,
piloted by Seth Rogen. He's just going to do that weird laugh.
No, it's going to be piloted by his what's James Franco's younger brother, like
Dave.
Dave Franco. That ended up like starting to take a lot. This started taking his place. He's going to be the pilot. It turns out that he's the descendant of James Franco's character from it. So
I need to make that on a shirt. It's like blame Franco, and it's just like James Franco holding a baby version of King Kong with the metal hand instead of Caesar.
It was all there. It was
It was him all along. Damn bastard.
They have a severed head of Draco Malfoy's character. I forget the actor's name, and the character that he played in the first Planet of the Apes film, but just like his head in a jar somewhere, just like this is a trophy from a bygone era. It's good shit. Good shit.
It's so stupid. This is really upsetting that they're like, this is what the Monsterverse has devolved into. We had the good 2014 Godzilla film. King of Monsters was all right. Kong Skull Island was great. And then it's just like, it's been progressively. It's upsetting.
Thing to happen.
All
right, Mark. What you got to promote?
Yeah, I got the YouTube channel. Like I put up like 2 videos in the last 3 videos in the last week, but for a whole month I put up like 4 videos, but it's the most amount of subscribers and views I gotten since like November of last year. And I was like, oh wow, okay. It's like that monetization's coming in good because I got that YouTube check. I started streaming on Twitch. That's where I've been doing my gameplay stuff. So I'm actually playing through all of Yokai Watch 1 on the Switch in English because I got an English mod. Gonna be building Wizard, and as of right now, the most recent thing is I did a review, or more of an unboxing, less of a review of the Imagination Belt. It's not nearly artistic as Zio, but I swear a lot.
No, I was trying to be professional with mine. Professional with
name that Disney character. I played that, name that Disney character. I was like, this key. I'm like, I don't know. I was like, oh, yeah, Tiana. I knew that.
So, man, there's a lot of people shitting on the 2014 Godzilla movie, and I'm like, look, if you go back to the era that was, I didn't think it was about because the entire thing, it was like cock teasing you with all the Godzilla stuff going on in the background as things were playing up. And then once you got the final fight with the Mutos, it was just like full on explosion. Just like, here it is.
They were trying to build tension. I will say it did seem a lot darker than it needed to be. And for some reason, a lot of people were talking about this. The way you saw it in theaters versus DVD, streaming, and Blu-ray, it's all different levels of lighting. The Blu-ray is the best quality one, where it's not as dark as compared to the DVD or the streaming version for some reason. So if you have it on Blu-ray or 4K, it looks a lot better than it did in theaters and a lot better because you can actually see what's going on. I feel like it was just all tension building, and that's what you want. And all the people who are complaining, like, oh man, why are there so much human elements in Godzilla films? Like, you've never seen a fucking Godzilla film? Like, there's humans in them all the time. There's a human element there.
Plus, the film in itself, I think, was building off a little bit from the Cloverfield hype from, several years before, where it was like, so give us the perspective from there. They give us little snippets of the fight and everything. Every time something was about to pop off, and Kati's and we're back to closing the door on all that stuff. And it's just like, oh my God, but what's going on? It's just like, yes, I was disappointed. I was like, oh, I want to see what's going on. To the point that when we finally got the fight, I was like, yes. This is the sweet release that the entire film was edging until you got to the end, and it's like, bam, all of it. Which is why I enjoyed it.
Let's not also forget that was one of the best plasma breath finishers from Godzilla. Just
right there in the mouth.
I was like, oh, that was so good. But now, Cloverfield was good too. Now that's what the monster needs: a freaking found footage Godzilla film narrated by T.J. Miller. That's what it needs. Because there is a Cloverfield 2 finally coming out. It's been years. It's finally happening.
A proper Cloverfield 2?
A proper. Not purchasing another film and renaming it Cloverfield Paradox or Ted Cloverfield Lane, which neither one of those films were ever going to be.
Cloverfield.com, the fourth film.
They literally just bought films and renamed them. That's it. And because he was like, yeah, well, no one's going to want to release this. Put it in the Cloverfield universe. And I'm like, yes, Kamen Rider, Cosmic. Yeah, TJ Miller does suck. His stand-up is not funny, but in Cloverfield, he was really good because I thought that was a really good introduction to him as a comedian. Anything else he's done after that besides the bloopers from Deadpool, not the actual Deadpool film itself? No. He's annoying.
Is he in Deadpool 3 or did he get TJ Miller?
Not that I know of. I think he's fully, because he had before all the stuff of him getting in trouble on that train or whatever, he had some falling out issues with production and Ryan. Yeah. So I think they were just like, no, we don't need him.
Yeah.
10 Cloverfield Lane was a great film because of the actors in it. Because what's his name is so good in everything that he does.
Tokupunk saying that they were 7 in 2014. I'm like, okay, that's great. Good job. Good job, my guy. I was 25.
I was 28. I was 28.
So yeah,
cries and I'm almost 40.
It's
and I'm mad. I don't look it, so I don't care. So everyone at work thinks I'm like 25. So I'm like, all right, I'll go with that one.
Millennials are aging great.
Yes, John Goodman, that's the one.
Ash, what you got to promote?
I've got the YouTube's Yoxy360. Comic reviews up there. I'll probably be posting a retrospective on Beast Morphers, because Beast Morphers turns 5 years old today, which is crazy. Ranger Academy review will probably drop on Wednesday. Watch that.
You're still keeping up with that? Has it gotten better? Is it still mid? Like what?
It's still mid, but I might as well talk about it so we don't have a blank week, and then I guess just follow the main comic stuff in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Return.
Okay.
Everyone go subscribe and bully Ash into doing Massive Verse videos.
I want to do a Massive Verse video. I want to do something on Catalyst War, but I don't know if I want to wait until it ends or wait until we get closer to the finale? Because I feel like there should be a video where I say you should read.
Well,
Like
the good thing is
War
Rogue
versus
Sun's on a
Shadowkin.
hiatus right now, so you can do some Rogue Sun stuff. It's on hiatus until the end of May.
No, I've got the third trade back pre-ordered. And that will keep me caught up by the time it comes back.
Mark, when
No,
you
the
coming
Alf
out with
video-
that? Yeah, when's that coming out?
Listen,
When's
if
the
someone
Alf
wants to, if someone wants to edit it for me and somehow keep me focused while I try and actually bullshit my way through explaining how Alf is connected to Alpha 5 and then connected to Masked Rider without giggling, because
Are you gonna have the Alf bloopers that I can't really repeat, but if you know, you know?
Oh no,
And
I'm
Alf
not
said-
putting those in there.
You're not? Why not?
I'm trying to use as minimal footage as possible because I'm not trying to
You haven't seen.
get in trouble
you
for
haven't-
footage.
Sorry,
You put that on your channel if you want. I'm not staying off my
it's
channel.
my turn to get
There's
Twitter
a lot of
canceled. I'll
stuff to
put it
say.
on my channel.
Yeah, right. I was like, I kind of like the 20 views I get on my videos. I'm not trying to get the whole thing deleted.
That's my April Fool's joke. Oh boy, Ash posted a new video and it's Alf saying words that I will not repeat.
Yeah, bad words.
Bad
I'll have to go
words.
over to Rumble.
Is
if I
it worse
lose
than
my
like
YouTube channel.
the Thundercats bloopers? I haven't heard it, so.
I'm gonna show it to you right after here.
Oh,
If I can find it,
boy.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
show it to you.
I have no idea. What is a Dr. Skipper monster versus
Dr. Skipper made a terrible video on Godzilla Minus with really shitty research by saying Godzilla is an open IP like Steamboat Willie. And
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. People were talking shit about that.
Oh, okay. Wow.
There's a lot of uneducated people now who don't know how IPs work.
yeah,
and
it's
public
sort of
domain.
it's sort of like an uneducated person. It's like, you know how everyone like jumps on the hot new thing and makes videos talking about it?
Yes.
He did that for Godzilla -1 and made a dog shit video.
Oh, man, I hate that. So
Yeah, and also, he
Jumping
did
on
also
trends.
say something about Japan is racist because they don't put other people of nationalities in a lot of their films and stuff. And I'm like, everyone in the film's Japanese. Like,
not every
white
country
people
is
know
a
what that means,
melting
dude.
pot.
Yeah, I was
Literally, like there's a reason why they call it the American experiment.
Yeah.
And that's what people tend to miss on when it comes to why America is so diverse. It literally is called a melting pot and an experiment for multiple different reasons. Not every country is built like it. Hell, my people wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the melting pot that existed in colonial era of all these cultures being brought together. So
you're welcome.
Sure.
I was there. That's how old I am.
Okay.
I'm ancient. I'm not gonna get over this. How old? I got an email from ARP. They sent me something in the mail. I'm just like,
I would get those calls. I would avoid them.
I'm ordering
Anyway,
a gray beard off Amazon to start wearing in my videos.
just to get the spray dye, it just makes it gray color for
I'm getting a whole big one. I'm gonna look like Gandalf.
That's what you do for your persona is just marked from 20 years in the future, trying to teach you life lessons on what not to do.
He's like, how's the Blade 40th? He's just like, Anyway's still writing. It's like, what?
It's like the dude's 90.
59. He was born in 59. What are you talking about? It's like he's still doing it.
He's still doing it. He's out here.
He's got a head in a
They're still
jar.
doing Don Bros crossovers.
Yep.
Doing
It's
Don
no
Bros
way. He's
crossovers
got his
with
head in a
Happy
jar.
Down Bros
Like,
had more had more films than Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen did.
They're in one of the crossovers. That's how much they ran out of content. It's like
Straight to
Don Bros
video.
takes Manhattan or something.
God, it'd be crazy. But yeah, I got nothing to promote.
I'm leaving the characters to you, Zio.
You got a Discord, I guess.
I do got
Yeah,
a
you got
Discord, I
Discord.
guess. I got some merch, I guess. I got shit going on, I guess. But we'll see. Join the Discord server if you have not already. It's good stuff. even though I haven't been active on there because of work and Final Fantasy Rebirth. So when you go in there, you'll probably see me say hi to you when you first join in, but then you'll see Final Fantasy Rebirth under my name, meaning that's what I'm currently playing on PS5. So it's going to be my life for the next couple of days. Boom, Boomger. I don't know if the subs drop early. Maybe I'll do something. Maybe. But
so what do you do for videos then? Because you don't do Sentai for the first 5 episodes. You're not doing freaking Kamen Rider videos.
I got a Gacha Chart video coming up. I'll have to do one on the Faiz 20th. There are a couple editorials that I do want to work on. So
I mean, you got 5 weeks of free time to do some stuff.
Yeah. So hey, like the thing is, I love doing editorials. I just have problems with like lining everything up to get them out there. So, but I do have a couple of topics that I do want to tackle when it comes to editorials. So those will come when they come. So hey.
Nice.
Stop asking about Lightspeed Hibiki. Did you not see that he was part of a great war during episode 49? It's just left to interpretation what happened after that great war. So
I feel like you're gonna do a whole you should just do a deep dive into the personas. You have 5 weeks.
I could, but I feel that's something that I would say for like members only or Patreon if I ever do that. Also, someone gave me an idea for a Patreon tier. I want this. There's only like 30 people watching right now, but let's say I do a Patreon, and one of the exclusive Patreon tiers would literally be me reading bad Toku fanfics, whether or not they're very sultry or very intimate, very penetrating on multiple aspects. But just me doing a very hard, dramatic reading, pretty much an audio book of different fanfics that can get definitely wild out there.
If you're not sitting in an armchair by a freaking TV playing the fireplace video,
I can do that. That's a very easy setup. That's a very easy setup for me.
I've done that a few times for videos in the past when I had my other channels for gaming stuff, and I was like, that's always the best thing ever. An armchair next to a big TV. That's the fire, not a fireplace. Even though I had a fireplace, I'm like, no, gotta have that Yule log on loop.
Because I'm just like, me reading these fanfics, that's not something I could put on just regular YouTube, because some of the language in there, some of the shit that they go into, I'm like, no, this is gonna have to be like unlisted videos that would only be available via a certain tier.
You can like do like really long bleeps just to it'd be more editing, but yeah.
The point is not to do that much editing, but just get it done. So,
that's true.
Especially if this is like a first read. And just how badly it's going to go, damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read some terrible ones, and there's definitely been some that go like, oh my god, once I get to like certain explicit playouts. So
you got to read Agony in Pink.
I don't know what that is.
Oh. Nope. You got to find out on your own.
I guess I got to make a Patreon just to get some of these out the way.
I don't think you understand.
I don't. I literally don't.
It's one of the worst fanfics.
Oh. Makes 50 Shades tame. I mean, 50 Shades wasn't. Okay. All right. Cool. Food for thought. Maybe something coming up soon. Maybe like while having some free time, I can properly set up everything. So it's just how things go. Anyway, we're out of here, guys. We're probably going to be playing some Final Fantasy. So we will catch you all next week for the premiere of Boom Boomger and whatever else Gotchart's going on along with other news. Until then, see you next Boon. Bye.
Bye.
よっ日本一